All right, gentlemen, let's get back into it. I'm thoroughly confused as to why that keeps happening. All right, I don't understand why that happens. I'm looking at it. It's not my internet connection. Try to possibly think it's my software, and whatnot. All right, if it's YouTube and all of that. All right, but it's a little disappointing. All right, but I don't think it's my internet because it just hops back on. As soon as I press hop back on, it comes back on. So I think what happens is, and I'm going to tell you, when I show some people doing cold approach or something like that, it tends to stop the stream. So listen, these are all shit that's on the internet. It's on the internet already. So it's kind of weird that they keep doing it. But, you know, when I see, because then they're going to say I showed somebody getting publicly harassed, which is weird. All right, because she was the one that did it. All right, you know what I mean? Like she was the one enjoying it, but they're going to call it public harassing. All right, so let's continue here. All right, Straggle Cynical Theater, let's go on with it. We got more videos to show you, and then we'll get on to the segments and the main events. We got Straggle Cynical Theater. We got this video of a white woman out here running a scam. A white woman running a scam, and this is a scam, a small town scam. Let's go ahead and play the video.
Ma'am,
help me, please.
What's wrong?
My daughter's in a coma and she's not going to make it. I need some money for
Oh, my God, she's in a coma and she's not going to make it. Where's she at?
UNC Chapel Hill. I need some money for gas.
How much money do you need?
I need 30, but whatever you can spare. Please. I'll take your name and number.
And you'll pay me back?
I'll pay you back.
How about you pay me back for the last 3 times you done this to me?
Not me.
Yeah, you.
Not me, sir.
You're still doing this same scam. That's why I wanted my son to see you. Because it's sorry that you do this. I'm putting you on Facebook too. No, sir.
All right, so we've all seen these. A lot of times we're worried about internet scammers. We'd be like, oh, they scamming on the internet. They grifting. But, you know, the reality is people grift all the time. All right, people be grifting all the time. And take a look at that right there. Take a look at that. Look at all of that. All right, that's somebody's nana out here. And, of course, you got white woman tears. And this is why when I say when a woman's crying, she's lying. All right, when a woman's crying, she's lying. Just because she's crying does not mean she's telling the truth. Because women can cry at the drop of a dime if they need to survive, or at least if they need to collect some dimes. So I know a lot of people want us to coach you cold. All right, but as you can see, she's got the cry face. She got her neck all, she got the slob in the spit, no teeth, that thin ass lips. All right, yo, and just like that, she's using the damsel in distress. She's using your emotions against you by displaying emotions. This is why I always tell you, emotions are not a great indicator to use to see if people are genuine, because people can manipulate you via emotions, and they learn this even when they're a child. So this is not nothing new. You just have to understand, I don't care what race, what woman, who does this. Just because she's crying does not mean she's telling you the truth or she's in need. Here we go. Let me go. All right, so her daughter's in a coma. She's using her daughter, her own child or her own suspected child. She's in a coma. She ain't going to make it because she ain't got enough gas.
Some money for
oh, my God, she's in a coma and she's not going to make it. Where's she at?
UNC Chapel Hill.
She got the whole... Even old women do it. Even old women do it. Even your mama does it. Even your nana does it. Right?
I need some money for gas.
How much money?
And she needs some money for crack.
How much money do you need?
I need 30, but whatever you can spare.
You need $30. It happens to be $30 worth of gas. Whatever you can spare, though, you can spare. And so that's what we got going on here. Anyway, we got Straggle Cynical Theater going on here. We got a guy that says, we got the generation culture clash. We got generational culture clash. We got the greatest generation, or perhaps the greatest generation, or a boomer. And we also have, it's probably the greatest generation, and or we have a Gen Z. So we got a nice, thin, petite piece of calico right here, and she looks like she's of the streets. Can we agree to that?
In these streets.
All right, she looks like she's of the streets, and we have an old man. All right, and we have a culture clash here. No, they are not dating, but it says, bro, I hope you don't change when you're older, bro, at 75. So let's play this video. It's quite funny.
Look at the attorney general he's got. He's a nigger. Did you know that? Yeah, I knew he was African American.
Huh?
I knew he was African American.
A nigger.
Oh my goodness. Archie Bunker is still alive. Archie Bunker is still alive. All right. This is definitely a culture clash going on here. And I've been a part of this even when I was a young child. Just older people are older people. They just used to say a whole bunch of everything. Why you record your grandpa out here talking like this?
Look at the attorney general he's got. He's a nigger. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew he was African American.
Huh?
I knew he was African American.
A nigger.
Oh my goodness. And she definitely the type to get piped down by a bunch of niggies, for sure. And the grandpa knows it too, right there.
Niggy.
All right. The grandpa knows that his granddaughter be getting choked and throttled by niggies. All right. And so that's why he's probably saying that. And oddly enough, I'm not offended. The silent generation. Oddly enough, I can't be offended by this. I would like my racism right out in front of me. All right. Yo. Grandpapa. I like this, man. All right, so anyway, let's get back to the next one here. Let's see what we got. Straggle Single Theater. We have Latina Strags. All right, Latina Strags. Let me go ahead and take their stuff off here so you don't go check them out here. This again, all right, unfortunately, I was cooking earlier in the stream. I'm going to have to put it all together so you can see it and make the stream come together. But we have Latina Strags out here. We have two women testing Plan Bs. When you think that we're at the point of no return, or you think the future is, when you think the past is coming back, you're out of your mind. We have two young Latina straggles, all right, that are testing Plan Bs. Here we go.
Today we are taste testing Plan Bs. Huh? We got Julie, Plan B, and After A. I'm here with my bitch Haley. We just got back from a 2-man, hoping it don't turn into a family plan. So we're about to taste test them. First, we're taste testing the Julie. Okay. I like
Smoke,
this one.
smoke detector just going off.
This is actually really good.
Yeah, I'd give this one like a 10.
I give it like a 9.5. Now we're tasting the After A.
Coach, man, that's somebody's daughter. Smoke detector just going off. I mean, when I tell you that people, the average person is a loser, the average person is a loser. All right, we got loser behavior, loser OnlyFans strags. We got losers talk about they just got back from a 2-man, taste testing Plan Bs, allegedly. I mean, with the smoke detector going off. I mean, Jesus.
I don't really like that one. It's kind of bland. I feel like it's not gonna work.
I think it brought my baby back.
Huh?
0. Now we're gonna taste the Plan B. You can never go wrong with the classic.
Yeah, this one's my favorite.
I give that one a 10 out of 10. Today we are taste testing Plan Bs.
Huh?
I guarantee you they got OnlyFans. Like, this is typical OnlyFans promotion. And let me see. I'm gonna tell you. I can almost guarantee, and I'm not gonna show this on here. Yes, they do. Not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. That's typical Twitter OnlyFans type promotion where they try to get people to go over there. She need to taste test them goddamn tacos she ain't making. All right, we got this video right here. Straggle Sniggle Theater says, well, let's go ahead and play the video.
What they say. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. It says to spray on flat surfaces.
That's what they say. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. It says to spray on flat surfaces.
All right, so we got flatbacks right there, pancakes. All right, interesting clip right here.
Hey, where are the white women at?
All right, so definitely we got an Orange County, Newport Beach flatback. All right, and the girl called her out for her pancakes. And listen, YouTube, I'm only playing videos that they got on the internet. So I'm glad everybody thought that was funny. And they look like they had a firearm store. At least there's knives there. Spray on flat surfaces. That is a flatback right there. That's not a flatback Supreme, though. But that's definitely pancakes back there.
Where the white women at?
Look at that back. That is a certified. Look at the back star from the shoulder blades all the way down to the heels. All right. Shoulder blade to the heels.
That's what they say.
And look, it's really flat when she's standing with them knees locked. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Goodness gracious. That's
the humanity.
that's painful right there. That looks painful. All right. Anyway.
What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. It says to spray on flat surfaces.
All right. Look at him. Look. Uh-oh. That's
the humanity.
spray on flat surfaces. Even the husband is like, what are you doing? Yep. Pancakes. Pancakes. All right. There you go. Who likes pancakes?
Hey, where are the white women at?
Who likes pancakes? All right, spray on flat surfaces, she said. Right? Not the ghetto booty type. All right, and I guess that's Straggle Sniggle Theater. All right, let me go ahead and play the outro, even though YouTube fucked up my programming. We had 2,000 people in here, and now this is part 2 of the show. It is what it is.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle, thank you, man. Do me a favor, hit the like button. I will get all the super chats. You know, unfortunately, you're going to see it on 2 parts of the stream. I might edit this stream later on. Shout out to our brother, It Is Hustle Every Day. He says, smoke detector hooked up to Bluetooth. Ish is loud. Shout out to the smoke detector. He also says, usually they are getting something from it. They are getting free validation, and listening ear, and non-sexual attention, entertainment, and drinking and or drugs. Free Agent Lifestyle book written by some bald head black mofo who speaks so well, right? Speaks so well. What do we know about this? What do we know about this? Shout out to the great Alan Roger Curry, AMS, and Ron Wills, and people talking about this. Free attention. Non-sexual attention versus sexual attention. If you haven't heard from these people, okay, go check these people out so you can learn about dating dynamics, human behavior. So sexual attention versus non-sexual attention. Many men give up non-sexual attention to women and don't realize they're paying with non-sexual attention. You're paying. You're giving something to women in hopes of getting something back in return, which you're not using something direct. You're not using mode 1. You're not using money, right, to get to what you need. So now you're going to use this, what I call sneaky way to get intimacy, which is to feign interest, right? So what men do and what women don't understand men do. Some women don't, or they act like they don't. Okay. What men will do is act like they're interested in women. This is a complete act. Okay, you're interested, you're sitting there, you're sitting there at dinner, or let's say you approach a woman at a party, a club, and you're holding your cup. Oh, yeah, oh, man, that's crazy. Wow. Oh, man, that's crazy. Oh, you don't seem like the type of girl to do that. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, miss. All right, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, so I do this. I've been there and I've done that. You try to give your history. I'm the type of guy that does this. People start representing themselves. I'm not the type of guy that does this. I'm the type of guy that does that. She does the same thing. I'm not that type of lady. I'm the type of lady that does this. You start describing yourself, right? How you want to view yourself. I never do things like that. I always pick up on the first ring. I always share my location with my man, right? I never share. Like, people are just acting like they're interested. As Chris Rock said, it's just your representative. It's not who you really are. That's on first date or anything. My homeboy used to say, people keep this up for 6 months and 1 day. Now, what women will be fooled into believing is that guy really cares about her. All right. He ain't trying to fuck. He really wants to get to know her. That's what she thinks. And she's dead ass wrong. All right. And some women think that maybe after date number 1 and 2. And he's not pushing for sex. He's not interested in sex. He just doesn't want to fuck me. He's different. Guys that usually want to fuck me tell me or they pay me. But he actually likes me. Okay, so what the woman thinks is that the guy's paying with this non-sexual attention. He's not pressing her. He's not being direct. That he actually likes her. Okay, and then the guy believes that if the woman is actually, if she's actually receptive to this, eventually he's going to wear her down and sleep with her. Now, it could happen, but it's going to be a long time because you're going to have to give up a lot of non-sexual attention. It's going to take a lot of work. You're going to have to go out with her 1, 2, and 3 times. You might even go out with her the first time and then take her on the first date the second time, and she'll call the first date the second time you took her out. But you already took her out the first time. And she'd be like, but that wasn't the real first date. Now, this is what men are still using out here, which I think is crazy. I mean, again, but I'm a little bit older. I got more years under my belt. I'm not trying to have families. So I think it's weird when people use this type of strategy over and over and over again. And I call this just slow pimping. You're just slow pimping, right? Instead of a guy who's just going to come out directly and say, baby, look, I ain't got no time for this. I got a girlie at home. She don't mind that I fuck other bitches, or I could fuck you on the side, but what you want? And she says, I ain't gonna tell. Okay, yeah, anyway, next. And then you cannot waste time. But dudes will do this, and eventually what happens is, let me tell you what happens. Most men are doing this to not great success, right? You don't have success doing this. That doesn't mean you never have success. Some people's successes are different. You will have people that can do 50% success rate on this one. Some dudes are going 0 success rate doing this one, doing this strategy. But I think it's disingenuous because you're feigning interest. You're lying to them. You really don't give a fuck about what she's talking about. You really don't care. You're trying to disqualify her. She's trying to disqualify you. All right. But you just hoping maybe that, you know, you can walk her to the door. The old, let me let you out. Let me walk you to the door. Hopefully she invites you in. You still going to try to fuck her, even though you don't care about what she's talking about. You really don't care about her. All right. Most men don't care about women until he really be wanting to nut in her and dig her out. Like, then you might care after a while. But, you know, some dudes really figure it out and go, why? That's a waste of time, or it's a payment. You're paying with time. Dudes will tell you to do this over and over and over again for years. All right. Over and over and over again. I do it like this for years, and you're hemorrhaging money. You're wasting a whole bunch of time giving non-sexual attention to women. Non-sexual attention. To me, I don't understand why men give women non-sexual attention in today's marketplace. It's pointless. Right here. It's pointless to be constantly hanging around with them, talking, you know, going shopping with them, and you ain't rearranged them guts yet. Or a woman will do this, she'll have a baby, and then she'll be like, well, I'm going to be celibate. So she'll get you, she'll say, well, I don't tend to have sex before marriage. Now, what you hear is a challenge. All right, I'm going to break her down. So you hang out with her 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. Then you realize she's serious. And then guess what? You skedaddle. You ghost her. And then she ends up going, yep, that's what I thought. These guys just wanted to have sex. So you think you're just going to wear her down. Oh, she's just saying that. Or she a single mother already. She already been having sex. So what'll happen is, yeah, okay, you'll eventually see that she's not going to give you none, and you'll stop talking to her. All right, so that is what we're talking about. Non-sexual attention. Men think giving women non-sexual attention is going to make it successful, and he's going to turn that into sexual attention. All right, but you really, men and women aren't that compatible for us to just be hanging around all the time and not having sex. In fact, if you are a guy that wants to maintain your purity and you're with the woman that you are interested in, and you know, you guys want to wait till you are married to have sex, what I would suggest is you don't see each other very often. Don't see each other very often. Definitely don't sleep over. Don't hang out at night. Don't do none of that shit. All right, call on the phone. Yeah, I'm still interested in you. Everything good? Yep. Okay, everything good on your side. Everything's good. Do not hang out with this person. You're going to get blue balls. You're going to get frustrated. Y'all going to be wanting to just put the head in. All right, it's just not even worth it. All right, but if you are intending to do that, and you're the type of guy to use that strategy, you want to wait until marriage, and she wants to wait till a marriage, do not hang out with each other very often. You want to get to know each other from afar. All right, anyway. From afar. Shout out to our brother. It is Just Chill in the chat. Long-time listener, first-time donator. You are the uncle so many men, including myself, need from age 14 and up. 100%. Thank you. Most men are not getting this advice early enough. All right. We get this advice when it's way too late. Shout out to MS81 says that's the reason why women say all men are dumb, because of the foolish mindset most men have. They do. And I'm going to tell you, man, you guys think you're fooling men. I mean, sorry, women, men, you think you're fooling women. And I'm going to tell you, they're way ahead of you. They're way ahead of you. Now, there are some guys that are ahead of women, all right? And this is normally their experienced guys. They're ahead of the game. They can read women. They could judge their human behavior. They could call them out on their bullshit. Oh, bitch, you bullshitting. You can't bullshit me. All right. Typically, those guys will be a little bit more nonchalant, a little more confident. They can be direct with the woman. They can escalate a little bit better. But I would say those particular guys, maybe 20% of guys, maybe 30, if you will, just throwing out a number. 20% of guys are able to do that. The rest of the guys are completely behind the 8-ball. And they know, a woman knows when you are bullshitting them. If you're not able to carry it through, they know immediately, because most women have experience. They have way more experience than men. Not just sexual experience. Okay? Not just sexual experience. What I'm saying is they have way more experience. Like, for instance, let me just say this. I'm going to just say this. I want you to think about this. Men that are encouraged to cold approach, right? You're like, I got to have more confidence. I got to know what to say. I got to keep the conversation going, right? Think about these guys that constantly be paying for dating coaches and constantly having this conversation about getting the confidence to approach a woman. I want you to think about this. Now, let's compare that same guy. And I would say that's 50, 60% of men. Let's compare that same dude to any woman. Any woman, and ask yourself this question. How many times has she been approached versus how many times this nigga figure trying to get up the gumption to approach a woman? Just on that experience alone, that woman has been approached way more times than this guy has ever approached a woman. Meaning that she has fielded more offers. And when I say approach, I'm talking about even predators, like dudes that are just going to say some nasty shit since she was like 16, right? So she's been approached way more times since she was 16. Here you are at 28 trying to get up the confidence to approach a woman. She got 10, 12 years in the field. Yeah, online, Instagram, Snapchat, Telegram, WhatsApp, motherfucking Facebook. Go down the line. College, high school, at the football game, the movie theater. Go down the line. College, classrooms. So when I say they have way more experience, when I say most men are trying to bullshit women, I'm like, you ain't got no chance in motherfucking hell, because you just trying to figure out how to even get the gumption to open your mouth to one woman. By the time she's 26, she been there, done that. She done seen it all, heard it all. She done heard the nastiest shit said. She done heard the most clever shit ever said. Now, with that being said, she's looking for a guy that's genuine, right? So she then is looking for you to actually make her believe you care about her. So she done heard all the pickup lines, the Mac shit, the niggas pulling up by her by the car, pimps trying to put her on the blade, old niggas, young niggas. That's the example. What I'm saying is that they have way more experience in getting into that realm of conversations and carrying it on. Most men are barely getting started in their mid-20s and 30s trying to get the confidence up, but she's way down the field in experience. Dates. A woman is way down the field in experience just in dates, getting together, hookups, right? Going to a man's apartment. Like, she already knows what you're about to do. You're doing this for the first, second, and third time. Like, just think about the experience. She's 19. You're 19. She done this already 20 times. You, on the other hand, done this twice, 3 times, tops. Turns to relationships. She'll probably say, if she's 25, she'll tell you about her relationship that she had in high school and college. And she'll say, we were together and steady. She's 20. A 20-year-old man has probably never been in a relationship. If he has, it probably didn't last very long. So she has experience in relationships long term versus the average male. So what I'm saying is they've already got experience down the line, so that when you come in with this manipulation and you're trying to get it together, you're way behind the 8-ball. Okay. And then when it comes to sex, you can throw sex in that conversation. The women are way more experienced. just fondling each other, touching, kissing, petting, hugging, grabbing anatomy, putting it in, putting the head in. Way more experience. She done been with 5 and 6 dudes by 20. You, this your firstie. Your onesie twosies. If she's had a steady boyfriend and she's a Mexican girl, she done been poked on like crazy by the time she hit 19. Poked on like crazy because she had a steady boyfriend. They've had a lot of sex. Lots. Lots of it. Every way possible. And little Eduardo or Edgar, he's a nasty motherfucker. So he's exposed her to a lot. Since they were going steady at 15. They broke up at 20 and 21. Here you come, never had a relationship, never had a steady girlfriend. And you worried about her body count. She says, my body count is 1. I've only been with 1 man. And that was Edgar. And I was with him since I was 15 in high school. You'd be like, only 1? I got this. But she had sex 400 times in those 5 years. The nastiest possible sex, because this dude's nasty. She's done everything with him. She's done everything. But all you heard was 1 body count. She been pitted 4 times. 400 times. Okay? Yep, somebody said same with girls in Southeast Asia. Thailand, Philippines. Yeah, she's 19 and cute. But dude, she been folded up since she was 12 and 13 and 14 and all kind of shit. So this is what I'm saying with it in terms of experience. Men just go to body count, okay? But the woman will say, hey, I'm 21. I've only been with 2 men. I've only had, when I was in a relationship. But she's been with them hundreds of times. You, on the other hand, okay? You, on the other hand, don't have 400 times you've been penetrated and sucked off, all right? She sucked them off a lot. You trying to get 1. All right, that's the difference between men and women right now. That gulf is widening like crazy. Shout out to our brother, man, for bringing that up. That was our brother. And DB says, Coach, I received the call from a lady I dealt with in the past asking if I wanted to go to a baseball game with her and her daughter. He says, where was my call when hands need to be put on hips? I want you to understand this one. Here's what I'm going to tell you on this one. And you said she has a daughter. Gentlemen, be careful on this one. This is a classic non-sexual attention. Give me a second here. This is a classic non-sexual attention tactic that women do to certain men. Okay, so she went down her line of men. Let's just say this woman, she has a daughter, so obviously she has Pookie, baby daddy. She has a guy that's a sneaky link. She has a guy that comes over and gives her a bag of potato chips and fucks her nothing. She has a trick. She has a guy that tricks on her. Then she has you. So when it's time to be the face of public, who is she going to call? Parties. Not parties like that. Not nightclub parties. We're talking about family parties or picnics, barbecues, baseball games, these type of things, brunch. When it's time to go down her list of men, the men, baby daddy, Pookie, Glocktavius, Sneaky Link, Tricks, these men cannot play that role of public face because that's not their role. But she certainly has these men available to her. Doesn't mean she always uses them, but she has these men available to them. They're never going to go to a baseball game with her. So when she then has to go down the roster of who can play the public face ass nigga, well, then that's you. All right. So then they start inviting you to family events.
And that's you.
So they can say, this is my boyfriend that I'm dating. And maybe we thinking about, getting together in a relationship, and they can ask you questions. How's it going? And that. Okay. So you're the public face. Please do not play the public face if you do not intend to have hands be put on hips. This is why you guys got to be more direct with what's going on. This is classic non-sexual attention. We're talking about 5 hours of no touching. 5 hours of useless conversation. And she already got somebody else. Why don't she call Pookie? Why don't she call Glocktavius? Why don't she call her Tricks? Why don't she call any of these people? Because they're never going to be the face of public with her. They're just going to be dudes that beat the brakes off of them. You got to be clear with these women what they're asking for. And it's okay. They can say no. Ladies, you can say no to us. I'm not going to be mad at you. Just say, hey, ladies, look, you want me to go to the baseball game? Right? Why don't, before you come over, bring your bag. Let me beat the brakes off your punani. And then you can take a shower, pick up your daughter from your mama's house, and then we can go to the game. Or when she asks you for that invitation, say, what are you doing tonight? Let me beat the brakes off of you now so that when Saturday comes up, I'll be okay with taking you to the baseball game. But you can't let people use, this is classic usury. Women don't see it as this, but I'm teaching you. They're using you. They're using you. When it's time to go to the carnival, the festival, the fair, the amusement park, now they calling you. All right, but they ain't calling you when it's time to beat the brakes off of their ass. All right, they don't call you. So if you don't intend to have these type of relationships, do not feel like you have to serve as this type of relationship without getting properly rewarded. All right, Schedule OP, Mr. Right now beats Mr. Right to the peace leave every time. He says, Coach, I had a woman tell me at the dog park that she likes having a dog because she likes the fact that it submits to her. This was new to me. Also, which country that you visited has the best food? All right, 2 different questions there. But yeah, people do have, I always said a lot of people, old people get dogs so that they can constantly be in that situation where they can tell something what to do. Right? Old people get a little dog and they can, because they're constantly nurturing and bringing people up and supporting them so that when their kids are absent, they got to have somebody fill that void. And then the dog is that. So they could constantly be like, submit, do this, stop, stay. So that's a fact. Best food, United States. Don't let nobody fool y'all, man. You're fortunate to live in the United States, man. You don't got to travel internationally very much. You live in one of the best countries to travel in. All right. We got 50 United States. All right. So we have 48 transcontinental, intercontinental, continental states here. And you can get around, and United States has great, we're a large country. We have great history in all of these regions. This is the United States. All right. The United States has the best food. You got fucking the worst is France. I can't eat French food. All right. But go around, travel around the United States. You can go to New Orleans. You can go up to Seattle and get you some fish and some clam chowder, some chowder. You could go to Boston, New Hampshire, and get you some motherfucking chowder. You could go to Maryland and get you some, crab and lobster, some crab. Okay. But you can also go to Las Vegas and you're going to find all the food. All right. Vegas has probably some of the best culinary in the country, some of the best trained chefs. You can go to Las Vegas and get anything. All right. Anything. But the United States. Okay. So you don't have to go very far. Maryland, you get some crab. So the thing is, that's what you don't have to go very far. But France is the worst. I'm going to just let you guys know. If I don't fuck with French food. French food is disgusting. All right. All right. And anything Asian food, I got to be looking at this shit like Asian food is a risk. It don't never look good. No government name says great content coach. Thank you, sir. All right. Asian food is a no-go. All right. I'm not about to experiment and shit. All right. I'm going to be like, what is this? I want to know what this is. I want to know. New Mexico. Shout out to New Mexico. Hatch, New Mexico. Go get you some Hatch chilies in New Mexico. Shout out to Hatch. But anytime I get, Asian food, I'm going to be like, listen, I want to know what this is. I see this shit. This looks like a goddamn, I don't know where you get this. And why is the head on this fish? Why is the head on this fish? And why can't I see the whole thing? It's covered in grease. All right. I want to see what this is. What is it? Is it moving? This shit looks like it's moving. All right. All right. All right. Anyway, what we doing here? Is this alive?
Did you eat that cat?
Mediterranean food. We got Mediterranean food here. All right. But it is what it is. But United States has the best food. And if you like fried food and fat people food, you can get fried food too in the United States. He said camel's hump. I ain't want no camel's hump and no eel. Nah, man, I want to know what this is. Find where did this meat source come from? Where did this meat source come from? Shout out to our brother here. Martin Muhammad says, headed to the police station to make a police report after discovering an Apple AirTag hidden in my car. He says it had been there for 3 days, but I got the sound recorded and the screenshots of my daily tracked travels because it miraculously disappeared this morning. He says right here, yeah, okay, so was it, who put it in there? Your wife? Anybody knows?
Gotcha, bitch.
All right. Anybody knows? I have no idea. My man said, how long has it been dead? For real. Like, who put that in there? All right, we got Mark Muhammad. Says, continue from the first ad, gentlemen. To see if you're being tracked, go to your Find My iPhones or Find My Phone apps on iPhones. Periodically check the items tabs. Click unknown items detected with you. Also be alert to notifications to tell this because it is not registered under your Apple ID. You should be notified. Yes. It says, sorry about the long chats. Thank you. Thank you. He says, can I see Kaylee? My buttons are messed up. I'm gonna try to see if I can pull up Kaylee. Let me see. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Kaylee. I'm a blonde. I have no tits. I make boys fall in love with me. They always throwing fits. I like being single. No, I've never been cuffed. These boys want a relationship, but I'm just trying to fuck.
All right. So, yeah, you can get Apple iTag tracked easily, but it should alert you if you are notified. I mean, if you're getting tracked, it should alert you. If it's an item that is near you, but it's not near the thing that is tracking it, it should alert you if you have an iPhone. All right, but it may not always do it. So watch out for that. Getting back to the show, we got Crime and Law CGA. And this has been a story that people covered, and I covered it as well, but they missed it because I probably only covered it for like 3 minutes. But let's see here. We got to do this by hand, and it's a little bit slower. But Crime and Law CGA, we have a video here or an article about a young lady that was recently arrested in Miami. And this woman was arrested for doing what? For pepper spraying rich men and stealing their luxury watches right off their wrist in Miami. All right, so be careful when you go to Miami. Lots of women in survival mode, lots of women selling sex, and lots of women going to bars and nightclubs and approaching you and showing you interest. So when a woman approaches you and show you interest, you gotta be kind of wary. I'm always worried about women approaching me and showing me interest and then wanting to sleep with me that night. Yeah, let's go to your hotel room. You got a hotel? Especially if they are approaching, propositioning you for sex, for money. All right, so even in Las Vegas. So a woman that approaches you for sex or take her back to the hotel room on the first night you met her, you got to watch out. And this is what she was doing in Miami. Now, she was arrested. Unfortunately, she got a slap on the wrist. As I've been telling you guys, she got a slap on the wrist. According to a report, a Florida woman got probation after luring wealthy men to hotels, pepper spraying them, and stealing luxury watches. Her name is Esther Torres, 20 years old. Avoided jail and got 5 years probation for 2 March robberies, including a $22,000 Rolex and a Hugo Boss watch, according to Law and Crime. One incident happened at the Breakwater Hotel in Miami Beach. But we'll show you. We do have video of this one here, so I'm going to have to take this down and pull it up. We do have video of the incident. Let me see here. And I think I showed this last week. Let me see here. Law and Crime. Let's go to their channel right there. So she ended up getting probation. So this is what we talk about a lot of times. They're not really going to punish women committing crimes. Far less opportunity and chance that they're going to punish them severely. Okay, and let's see here. Oh, they've been posting quite a bit, so it must be further down. But they do have surveillance video of her doing this. And these men have lost tens of thousands of dollars trying to get free punani or maybe pay for some punani. It sounds like it's more like, a free hookup, but it might be pay for play. For sure, it's Miami. Okay, let me see here. Let's get her name. That's what we need to do. All right, this should have been set up earlier, but I see I didn't set it up. All right, Esther Torres is the name that we're looking for here. Copy, paste. But you got to be careful, man. I just think with women, especially if you go to Miami and you just a rookie, just be careful. Don't think it's just going to be that easy. But, of course, every now and then it's going to be easy. All right, Esther Torres. See if we can pull it up. Damn. All right, the videos are somewhere on the internet. Robbing men. Protect yourself, gentlemen. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We finally got it up right here. That's what she said.
News starts right now.
Right now at 4:30, a one and only exclusive, a woman accused of targeting men at Miami Beach hotels and robbing them.
And we're now seeing some video from the moment that police caught up with her. Local 10's Rosh Lowe is live for us in Miami Beach with this exclusive. Rosh.
Busted by the beach in front of your baby. This case is pretty unique. She's a mom during the day. At night, cops say she's ripping off men, spraying them in the face to take high-priced watches, and now we have the body camera video of her takedown.
We need to speak to Esther real quick.
Mid-May, Esther Torres taken down by Miami Beach police.
We're gonna talk, okay? Okay. Hi. Hi.
You can hear a child say hi to the Miami Beach police officer.
Have a seat in my truck real quick, okay? I don't want your baby to see you.
The officer shields the child from seeing him put Esther in the back of the car.
Because he knows what police is.
So what is this all about? Look at the woman leaving the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach. Cops say that's Esther Torres in the jean shorts. Miami Beach police have charged her in 2 separate cases where they say she sprays men and steals their high-end watches. And now we are seeing her takedown.
That's not his father. He has to call.
We're gonna keep your phone. Yeah.
He told me he was a father. Is he a father or not? He is, but I'm saying he has to call the other people to get my baby. I don't want him to be left alone. I watch.
All right, so I want to show you something here. First of all, without makeup, obviously, wow. Number 1. Number 2, 20 years old. All right, I can't tell her ethnicity, but it does look like she's wearing some sort of cheap wig as well. And then she probably looks like a man. All right, like that's a lot going on here. She looks rough. But I'm pretty sure what happens is when people are in nightclubs, they're drunk, they're horny. This will do. Like, this will do easily, right? Yep, she walks up. She probably has her nails and makeup. Let me see where we got here. We do have her in her jeans, so we can see what she looks like. She's somewhat petite. And there she is there once you're at night. People can't really see, right? You got your beer goggles on and you're horny. And she walks up to you. Yeah, I'll give you some pussy. All right, I'll sell you some. Now, I want you to notice this. Notice this. In the car that she got out, she got her bonnet on. Let me see if I can put this up right here. You can't really see it very well. Take a look at that. Look at that. Okay, she got a petite body.
Say hi to the Miami Beach police officer.
All right, but yeah, let me see if I can pull this up. Damn, I can't see it. Okay, she's in the car with a pookie. That's what I wanted to show you.
We're gonna talk, okay? Okay.
All right, there it is right there. All right, there it is right there, because you can hear the Pookie music in the background. All right, you can hear the Pookie music in the background. That snare tap, that trap music snare tap. You can hear that shit. All right, so then what you have to do is look clearly in the car, and there's Gloctavius there with his plaits or his braids or his, what do you call those? So there's with Pookie right there. All right. And they rolling around smoking weed all day. They don't got no job. Their jobs, that it could be her pimp, right? That's her pimp, you know, but it's not the old school pimp. Like, yeah, I be pimping these hoes. It's not like that, right? That's her boyfriend / pimp. Yeah, the dreadnoughts. And so we got that snare tap, but the trap music with Pookie with the dreadnoughts. And this hoe got running around smoking weed, rolling joints in her bonnet. All right. And at night, he put her ass on the street on the blade. All right. And then they collect
in these streets.
They collect the proceeds through her vagina. So he's going to say he's kind of pimp. Or I be pimping. My girlfriend be out here stealing it. You know, scammer type nigga. But look at that. I mean, this is crazy right here. You got to protect yourself.
Oh, the humanity.
So, yeah, when they get all dressed up, you know what I mean, and they can hide and disguise themselves like a Decepticon, and they can go out there and put on some high heels, and look, there she is right there. You can see her. Right there. Oh, man, she a baddie. All right, look at her. She put her thigh-high, knee-high boots on. She put her booty shorts on. She look like a good. Is she a whole strag? She a whole strag on the inside. All right, so here we go right here. Let's see what happened there. That's her getting arrested. We do have some other surveillance footage there. There she is with her back out. All right, but the women can be dangerous. But the point of it is women can be dangerous. Like, don't think because she's small and little that she don't have somebody, setting her up, setting you up. So she already got these pookies on the side. 100%. So she can be just as dangerous. And she roll in with the pepper spray and spray your ass. There is another video of her doing this. Let me see if I can pull this up. They do have a video of her walking up to a hotel. And then you don't see the pepper spray, but you see the incident where they walk up to the room and then they walk in. I don't know if I can find the video. Maybe it was somebody else. So protect yourself on Crime and Law CGA. Protect your neck out here, man. You got to watch out bringing hoes back to your room. Okay, let me see. Okay, I will cover this, but I don't think there's much here. We do have Travis Hunter back in the news because his girlfriend, Leanna, is on the internet crying. And she shared a video here, but I don't think there's much here. But it looks like she's crying and breaking down. We'll play the video right here. This is her on the internet. I think there's going to be much, much more to the story coming up in about, once the NFL season kicks off. There'll be a lot more in the story in the news. But she's crying about something. She's displaying some emotions on the internet, which I call disingenuous behavior. What type of piece of shit human being cries intentionally on the internet? Dabbing her mascara and whatnot. Okay, so she probably is a cry out for attention, or she's going through some shit. When they are going through their metamorphosis from whores to regular women, they go through some trauma. All right, so let's see what the hell she's talking about. I know this has been a popular story. Let's see what we're talking about.
Gets ready to make you a great woman. You'll know he's going to make you great by how you suffer. The greater the glory, the more intense the story. Because you can't get this all out of a book. God gets ready to make you a great woman. You'll know he's going to make you great by how you suffer.
Okay, so that's the context of the video there. She's got a voiceover of TD Jakes talking about when God's about to make you a great woman, you're going to know how great you are by how you suffer, the intensity you suffer. Yeah, this is whore babble. She's metamorphosing from whore to housewife. And it's tough for women to do this. It's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough for them to leave the damn streets. All right, so she can't.
In these streets.
It's tough for them to remain monogamous. She probably has never remained monogamous once in her life. But now that everybody's watching her, she can't be on Snapchat. She got caught on Snapchat. She got caught on video cheating while dude was out of town. Now you have eyes on you. Now she's a known personality, so it's going to be harder for her to cheat. She's going to have to do the Cassie shit and hire escorts, all right, because it's going to be harder. Everybody watching her, they waiting for her to make a mistake. So she's been doing this for a good 2 months. She's been trying to be a good girl for 2 months, and it's causing her trauma. That's it. That's what I see. That's what I read from this. That's what I'm reading for this. And I know this all too well, especially with younger women. All right, and yes, the streets are calling. The nightclubs are calling her. They telling her, girl, be up at the nightclub. She can't be out there because they know she gonna be recorded and she gonna get caught. She can't be out in the street. She can't hang out with just any old body. So she's got to go to corporate events and she's got to be normal and wear proper attire and dress and not look like a skeezer slag. All right, and then boom, it's cutting her to the fat meat.
The greater the glory, the more intense the story.
Yep. So she's struggling with this. This is her releasing herself from whore life in the streets.
In these streets.
All right. And this is what they're all going to do. It's tragic. It's traumatizing. And then she's got to be, we heard Suki Hana talk about it yesterday, where she said usually when she gets in an argument with her man, she just goes and sucks off another man. But when you're in a committed relationship like she is now, she can't do that. She doesn't have that release, that avenue. So all she can do is go cry in the bathroom. That's all she got left. All right. She got to deal with it. She got to deal with that shit. And it's hard to be living like a righteous individual. It's hard. It's easy to live like a regular. You know, when people, this is the funny thing about it. It's the funny thing about it. And somebody said this earlier. You know, when you talk to guys that deal drugs, they're a scammer, or hoes that do that, they are a scammer or a drug dealer, or they a hoe, or they sell pussy. What they'll do is they'll sound like it's impressive. You know, they'll talk about how hard it is. And they'll talk about, you know, pimping ain't easy. And which is true. These are true. It is hard, but it's actually easy. And it pretty much takes the same energy to be a good person. But the results of being a good person is not going to show immediately. It's going to show 5-10 years down the line. So people don't want to pursue that. So they'll take the easy money and the fast money, and they'll tell you how hard it is. And they'll tell you what they're doing like you're supposed to be impressed. They'll tell you how they steal credit cards, and they tell you how to do all. And you're like, nigga, just go get a job, you know, get your life together. And they'll tell you how hard it is. Or they'll tell it to you like you're supposed to be impressed. You're not going to be impressed by this type of behavior, especially when you're living right. So same thing with this. Okay. It's easy to live the life of a whore. It's easy. It's easy to open legs. It's easy to sell some pussy. It's easy to do that. But then you realize it's going to catch up to you. You sold your soul. Now you sold your soul. Now you sold your soul. And now you're trying to figure out how to rebound and recorrect it and live righteous, which is way harder. It's so hard that when you do the easy route, now transitioning it to the real hard route, it brings out tears. So this is what I'm seeing from this. There's more. I'm reading into it, probably more than I should have, but we'll hear more. We'll hear more from that one. That's Crime and Law CGA. Thank you, sirs. And thank you for putting up with the bullshit on this stream today, man. I hate it. I hate it. I wonder sometimes if it's my Streamlabs. All right. Sometimes it's my Streamlabs I might do it. Sometimes it's YouTube. I don't really know what's causing the problem, to be honest with you. But I'm going to work around it. Let me see if there's any contributors going on here. Luciano over here says, Coach, thank you for sharing your experience and giving us the blueprint for how to live in this new era. Shout out to you, man. Yes. New world order. And that's a sponsorship. Shout out to you. I'm rich, bitch. Shout out to you. Shout out to our brother here, MC Hamsters. You've been doing that missionary. She been on a mission. He says, only William thinks the world should be fair. For sure, man. Listen. Here's William. I remember a dating coach, and I think it was Donovan Sharp, once said, because people were trying to call him out because, you know, he would be like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I use this tactic and strategy. But then, you know, what people will do is they'll say, well, you're 6'2". Right. They'll point out that one thing. Oh, well, you're rich. You're 6'2". You're black. You're cool. They'll do this. Right. And what'll happen is, I remember Donovan Sharp said, hey, life ain't fair. And that's the truth. Life is not fair. Life is never going to be fair. Life is certainly not fair to men. This is why we do have a sense of frustrated men. Life ain't fair. But we want it to be fair. We want women to have the same menu for every man. We want them to believe that, you know, men still believe that they're going to be highly moral and do the right thing. Women, they're never going to. So when you realize that women have a different way they treat men based on what they think they could get from that man, that's the reality. So if you bird-chested, you goofy-footed, you sloppy, you're young, you don't have nothing to leverage, a woman can go, hey, this is where I can treat this guy. This is how I can deal with him. This is his price. For another guy, it could be different. You're older, mature, wise. You can be a mentor. She treats you a different way. You highly arouse her. You highly arouse her. She's like, oh man, I gotta have him. He fine. She treats you a different way. She treats you a different way. You got money. She treats you a different way. Now, all of these men can access her using whatever they have. This is where the conversation with men has to be cleared up, because guys will be like, it's not always about money, right? And of course, that's true. It's not always about status and pookie. That's true. It's not always about these things, but it is, because that's where they line your ass up. They're lining you up based on that. That's the reality. Okay? That's how they do it. And I call it a deficiency. Whatever deficiency you have is what you have. But you can overcome a deficiency with something else. So guys will say, hey, look, I'm going to just use money. If I get money, I'm going to get women. Okay, well, yes, technically. Right? By definition, sure. Are you going to get her like the other guy she likes? False. So then content creators will hear even me say, well, boss up, leveraging options. And they'll say, well, coach is trying to tell you that if you get money, then you'll get women to like you. And I say, I didn't say that. I definitely didn't say that. Right? I said that if you have no leverage and you're constantly being put on the bottom of the menu, or she's putting the price up higher, or she's saying you got to do more things to get access to me, well, the one thing that could change that is money. Okay, that certainly is the case. That's what I'm telling you. So you bird-chested, you goofy, you old. Okay, you don't got no game. All right, you're awkward. You have a deficiency. Women are constantly putting you into, you do never have a chance. Well, money can change that up real motherfucking quick. All right, quickly. Now, is she going to give you burning desire? Is her punani going to get wet? Does she have to do like this and spit and wet her punani up for you to enter her? Yep, she'll probably have to do that. She'll probably have to do that. But that's better than being on the outside looking in. Same thing. You change your body. You don't have to get buff and muscular, because there's a certain point where you're only going to attract men. So if you change your body, is that going to change how you access certain women? Yes. Are they going to use you for your body? Probably. Are you never going to be the public face of things? Yep. Are you going to have to always sneak in and sneak out the window? Yep. So now changing your body has given you, you've overcome that deficiency. Does that mean the women are going to love you? No, I'm telling you, it doesn't mean that they're going to love you. That means they're probably going to maybe have a fetish. They might like something that, you know, that you represent. Some women like my arms and shoulders and my traps, and that turns them on. And that gives me access. Does that mean they want me to marry them? Does that mean they're going to love me? No, it doesn't mean any of that. It doesn't mean any of that. It does not mean it. So what guys are trying to figure out, which I'm trying to tell you, you cannot negotiate the desire. And dudes are trying to negotiate desire. You're trying to get women to genuinely desire you. I think that's mission impossible. If women genuinely don't desire you, you cannot get them and force them to desire you. I don't care if you use muscles, money, game. I don't care if you use game, get a dating coach, and you know what to say to these hoes, and these hoes are now going to listen to you because you know what to say. None of that is going to make them genuinely desire you. I don't care if you take them out on dates, play the good guy. None of that shit is going to get them to genuinely desire you. Can it be a substitute? Yes. And one of the quicker substitutes are going to be changing your body, learning how to talk to women, and then money. If you use neither one of those, you're on the outside looking in. Okay, 100% chance. If you do not improve your life, your lifestyle, move from apartment to a house, get a better car, you're on the outside looking in, for sure. You don't improve your conversation. You don't get ups. You don't know how to talk to a woman. You're gonna be on the outside looking in. That's it. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you you're going to get bags of money and women going to want to jump your bones and all that stuff. Yeah, there are some that are going to want to. But today's world, with this main event, one thing men are missing is that women have changed significantly over the past 2 decades regarding how they view men with money. There was a time that you could just pull up in a car, have the car she wanted, like she wanted her man to drive. And in many places, she was satisfied with that. My man got a truck. My man got a Porsche. My man got a Hellcat. She could be 20 years ago generally happy. My man got a BMW. And she would brag about this shit. She would tell everybody, my man got a Cadillac, Coupe de Ville. She would brag about this shit and tell everybody what you got. Today, women want their own fucking BMW. They want their own Mercedes C-Class. They want their own Porsche 911. They want their own truck. My man got a 6-bedroom house. They want their own 6-bedroom house in 2025. Or they'll sleep with a guy that has a 6-bedroom house and they'll go back to their apartment. Okay? They've had access, these men, right? There was a video somebody shared with me of a guy. He wasn't cold approaching, but he was trying to get women to go on this reality show. And so he was going to the beach interviewing them. And as he interviewed them, one of the questions he asked was, do you want to go on a yacht? Okay. And I think the event was happening on a yacht. So he was trying to get the women in this area, looks like probably Florida, to go on a yacht. But he said one thing he discovered was that every girl he asked if they've been on a yacht, they have been on a yacht. I want you to think about this in context. Dudes think they're just going to get money and women going to be impressed by your car, your truck, your home, your yacht. These bitches already been in it. Not bitches. These women have already been in them. They've been to yacht parties. They've been in nice cars. They've been in nice houses. It ain't like they never seen it when you showed up. They've been on vacation. At 25. They've been in hotel suites. You've never been in a hotel suites. They've been on boats. They've been in first class. And this is typically we're not talking about the regular average woman. We're talking about the women that you tend to want to be trying to impress. They've already done this. So they're already 25, 26. They've already done it. Been there, done that. Ho hum. And you pull up thinking, oh, she's going to be impressed by my Porsche 911. She might. The only ones, the women that I think have been impressed by Porsche 911 have been average women and women under 22. All right. Other than that, once they hit 25, they've been there, done that. They've been there, done that. It's just going to be something that you can use. But for most women, they'll say, I want my own X, Y, and Z. They'll come in my G-Wagon and they'll tell me they want a BMW, whatever. Let's just say a Porsche Cayenne. All right. So she's in my car going, oh, this is nice, but I want my own. So that's the difference between yesterday and today. They want their own G-Wagon. Oh, a dream of mine is to have this. Now, I don't know how they going to get the motherfucker. Sometimes I be looking at them like, how you going to get it? Because you about to get $350 from me. How you getting a G-Wagon? That's the part that's missed out. That's the part that they don't realize yet. I was like, you're literally right here, 25 years old, 26, 27, and I'm about to fix your minds by rearranging your guts and examining your tonsils. But you're telling me you're about to get a G-Wagon? I don't know how you're going to do it because I worked very hard. It took me 50 years to get one. So I don't know how you're going to fix it to get one. Right? And you a nail tech. I don't know how you fixing to get one. So maybe you're going to have to find a rich kid. Yeah, they're going to have to rob dudes. So I'm looking at it like they want their own, but they just don't know how to get it. Now, some women do know how to get it, and those women are a little bit more difficult because the ones that got it, now what do you use? You can't use money? Not necessarily, because they are around men with money. All right? They have their own money. Right here. So anyway, yeah, this is why I typically don't date older women, because they're harder to impress. Like, what are you going to impress with an older woman? What are you going to do to impress an older woman? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. She's been there, done that. She'll tell you about it too.
I've flown myself to Paris. I've done Greece. I've island hopped. I've done all of that.
Not only that, they still want to be impressed. So you're like, there's nothing I can do. Shout out to Kevin Sullivan, said, what's up, coach? I seen a woman that was about to go through a breast augmentation. She said the biddies are on tour because I go into my next era. The biddies are on tour because before I go on to my next era, I bet a whole bunch of niggies got the bus on them things. Pause. LOL. He says, can I put Can I get the put your hands? What the hell? Oh, it's a sound effect. Okay, all right. Where's the sound effect that you want? I don't know where it is. Oh, this one.
Put your titties the fuck away, bitch.
I'm not.
Put your titties away. The police are on their fucking way right now.
All right, that's the sound effect. He was requesting that one right there. So the titties are going on tour.
Put your titties the fuck away, bitch.
I'm not.
Put your titties away. The police are on their fucking way right now.
I'm covering them up. I'm sorry.
All right, shout out to our brother here. Anastasia Boss says they can get a G-Wagon by selling punani at 10 guys a day at $500 a pop. That's maybe around $250,000 non-taxable cash. All right, shout out to you. But they're going to need a little bit more than that. All right, because as soon as that transmission go out. One thing about it, and I know, man, and this goes to young men, but it certainly goes to women, and I just want to advise you, do not get expensive cars unless you can afford the maintenance. Do not get expensive cars until you can afford the maintenance. Okay, I have paid tens of thousands of dollars in maintaining these cars. It's all fun and games, nigga, until that check engine light comes on. It's all fun and games until that check engine light comes on. And then what do? This is why I got 2 kind of luxury cars and I'm looking for a third, because driving these bitches is going to end up with the check engine light coming on. All right, I put the G-Wagon in, $8,000 last month. And that was on top of almost $10,000 for the Porsche because I ran over a rock. All right, and that was like 3 months ago. Okay, now my motherfucking check engine light back on the G-Wagon. I'm like, that bitch gonna sit over there. All right, I'm gonna drive the Porsche. All right, but now driving the Porsche is gonna now bring up a little bit of wear and tear and likelihood that is gonna come up. So let that light come on. All right, my check engine light came on the G-Wagon and it was $8,000, just like that. Pop. Right out the pockets. Right out the pockets. So you worried about the car payment and the insurance? Those things are going to be terrible. The car payment is already terrible if you got a car payment. Okay, but then you got to take it to service. Just know you ain't getting out light. You ain't getting out without under 3K. You're getting out with under 3K right now. All right, so let me see something here. You definitely paying 3K minimum. But you definitely looking at 10K. All right, you definitely looking at 10K. Anytime I have a problem with one of my cars, I'm like, that's $10,000. So please understand this, ladies. And I know women don't know anything about this. You guys don't know. And I actually had, I've had Honda Civics and this type of thing. When these go in the shop, it's going to be $350, 400 tops, maybe 800 if it's a bad one. But when you're talking about getting into high-end vehicles that cost $100,000 plus, never think that person has extra money. Okay? And I know what people think. You're going to think I got all this money, and they do got extra money, but let a repair come up. It's going to break your fucking bank, all right? And you better have it, okay? You better have that money. You better have 10K ready to go. So, yeah, people always say, "Being you going to go broke with it?" I mean, I'm not going to go broke with it because I don't drive all the time. But let me just tell you, I had a lot of maintenance money saved up in order to get these cars, all right? So don't fucking play around. Caitlin says, I'm sure you would agree that if you were in a relationship in which you could have sex whenever you want, it would only be right to give her that time in the Netflix and chill. Non-sexual time lasts longer than the sex itself. Men and women, even in relationships, won't have too much in common other than the ability to sleep with each other. It is what it is. That's the reality of it too. Now, sex is one of the biggest reasons you're in a relationship. But it's only going to be 15 to 45-minute act, okay? Most of y'all 5 minutes. But we do make a big deal out of it. And second thing on that, okay? Second thing on that, if you get a woman, most of you guys are asking for women to have sex available to them. God forbid you get this woman, Okay, let me tell you something. You're asking for something that when you get it, you're going to be like, why did I ask for that? So there is a happy medium in reality. Now, if you're 22, this is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But if you're 30 and up and you get a woman that is just like, you can have me whenever you want me, it's going to sound like a good idea. But it's not going to be the best possible idea, right? All right, because we asked for this stuff. We want a woman that's available to us and they ain't working for the man, that could stay at home and help us with. Okay, what if she's there at the house and every time, you know, you get home from work or you take a lunch break, she just ready to fuck? Bro, you ain't got that, right? You ain't got the stomach, man. She gonna cheat on you. Do you have the stomach? She gonna cheat on you because you ain't gonna be able to pleasure her. This is the reason why Diddy got guys for Cassie, because he couldn't please her because she was a nympho and she could orgasm over and over and over and come back and have 12-hour sex rounds. All right, so if this woman was just like, you're available to you at whenever you want and you like breakfast, lunch, dinner, you're going to get tired out. She's going to steal your soul. Most of you guys can't handle it. You won't even be able to be ready to perform. Some people don't want to have sex with the same woman over and over and over again. That might be repulsive to you, and I can understand that. I've been there. Okay, then you're going to realize that the things that you want to do, the things that make you better as a man, you're going to sacrifice that because you're always going to be in the act or getting ready to commit the act, recovering from the act. That could take, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how you do it. Yep, now you're losing sleep. Now you're up to midnight fucking. Going round number 2 and 3. Now you're up to midnight. Now what happened? All right, now you ain't getting to sleep. You done woke up tired, woke up late. So it sounds like a good idea to have a woman always available to you. And it does seem like that's going to make the relationship positive. But trust me, let's just say, for instance, she wants that and you can't deliver that. She going to cheat on you. You can consider her gone. All right, just to let you know, there ain't no way she going to stay faithful to you. And so much for working out later this afternoon. You're not going to work out because you done busted a nut at lunch. All right, you're not going to be working out at the gym at 3 o'clock or after work. And let's say she's like, hey, I'm laying in the bed naked. Come home. I'm waiting for you. You're not going to the gym tonight. Right? So you're going to pay. That's why I say all men pay. That's money, energy, attention, and time. Eventually, your life and your life's mission and your purpose is going to get sacrificed for this endeavor. I'm going to tell you that if you get up, this is something that you might be able to afford for a period of time. But you will find out that you'll start making less and less and less money. You'll start doing less and less things. You'll have less and less clarity. You won't be sitting up there thinking of good ideas to come up with. All right. All of that energy, money, energy, attention, and time is being extracted from you. And she's being replenished from it. Right. She's loving it. She's getting attention fed. She's getting the seed, the suck seed. She's getting it. You're transferring that energy to her. And now you got to take a nap. So I always encourage men that want to be with nymphos, try it out. Most of you wouldn't last 2 weeks. 2 weeks tops. When you're young, you're like, not me, coach. This is the best thing. You wouldn't last 2 weeks. First of all, second of all, you're probably going to get evicted from your apartment in 2 months. You're going to stop making rent if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Last thing, where are you going to do it at? Your mama's house? No. I met several nymphos in my life, and they were succubis. Succubis. I couldn't keep up. I was like, these women are crazy, man. Right here. And it was a get for free. They didn't make me jump through hoops and hurdles. Typically, what goes with an nympho, I'm going to tell you this here. What also goes with an nympho is also kind of, let me see if I can explain it. What goes with an nympho is that they also kind of, there's a, gosh, how do I explain it? Most of the time you're dealing with bullshit. That's the easiest way I can explain it. All right, you're dealing with bullshit, right? So you kind of got to get them in the mood, flirty, you know what I mean? You got to, sometimes there's argumentative, right? They're argumentative. They're kind of just pulling. It's like a tug of war of wills for a minute before the power submission happens. Like, you don't just walk in the door and they just submitting. Most of the time, there's like a little argument, a little bit of a crazy dance. You know what I mean? You should be doing this and I should be doing. It's like a energy exchange of energy before the sex happens, right? So it's not always. But then once you into it, you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Like, you'll get through it, but you got to knock that wall down because she wants you to submit. She wants to submit to you. So you kind of got to go through this, power shit. You gotta go through this thing with her, this dance, before she purrs and submits. This type of thing. And it's we don't agree and what's going on and blah 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 blah. That's almost always all nymphos. It's not that you could just walk in and she's just quiet and then you just peel her panties off and take her as she is. It's never that. It's never that. It's always Latinas are typical for this. All right. Latinas are typical of this. That is good because they'll be hella nymphos. But it'll be this back and forth. But it'll be that shit going on. Like, you've been trying to figure out why she got an attitude. I ain't got an attitude. You always do this. And how come you always do that? You got to do this back and forth shit. And then once you do that, then you're good. Once she feels like meow and she lies on her back like this and she exposes her belly, you got her. But you done went through an hour and a half of some bullshit, frustrated yourself, and your blood pressure done rose, right? And now you choking the bitch, and now you pulling her head, yeah, bitch, and she just enjoying it. She's like, right? Because she got you riled up and shit. She done triggered you, and you like, bitch, and let me tell you something and shit like this. And you grabbing her by the hair, and you whirly dervishing her around the room, and she's like, she loving it because she won. She got exactly what you wanted. She got exactly what she wanted. She won. And you like, I'm going to punish you. Man, bitch, I'm going to make you pay. And she's like, punish me, daddy. Because you like, tell me, put me in my place. That's what's going on there. Yep, she leaking. She's soft and wet. She's like, finally. And then you go down there and see she been wet the whole time. All right. She already ready. She done got the foreplay ready to go. She got you riled up. All right. And she just literally, that's exactly what she wanted. So you just think that, it's never going to be easy with them. All right. And now you go 1, 2, 3 rounds and now you choking, dominated her. Yeah. Domination just ain't going to be one of those things for sure.
I like to get dominated.
Yep. Yep. Meanwhile, you think you won. I put her in her place. I checked the bitch. Nah, that's exactly what she wanted. She wanted to rile you up. She wanted that energy exchange. It's never just going to be an easy make herself available. Not all the time. Sometimes it will. Sometimes it won't. All right. But this one right here on It's the Evil World We Live In, we have this woman that says why she cheated and why I'm going to tell you the 2 things that you can guarantee that your wife or girlfriend's going to cheat. All right. And these 2 things, we're going to start off with one. If you want to know what 2 things that a woman does that are going to guarantee that she's going to cheat on you, we're going to show you right now. This is a former alcoholic. She reveals the night she decided to go outside of her perfect marriage. All right, her perfect marriage. So obviously one is alcoholism. If your girlfriend or wife is an alcoholic, you can almost guarantee she's going to cheat. All right, this is going to be a no-brainer. We'll tell you what number 2 is coming up next.
We were super involved with the church. I had this amazing marriage, a man that really loved me. I graduated and I get this really good job. And the first weekend that I am on staff, they send me to the sales conference and I get there and it's like a full bar. And I'm like, it's been a while since I drank. Everyone here is drinking. No big deal. And I get blackout and I have the time of my life and I'm drinking with everyone else. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, it's acceptable. I'm okay. I haven't, no consequences. I didn't really tell my husband. Like, I just said we had a few drinks. He was not super stoked, but like nothing really happened.
Right.
But what I didn't realize is that I had lit that allergy on fire. And it was just, I picked up right where I left off.
All right. She picked up right where you left off. So when we talk about the past, her past matters, right?
In these streets.
Her past matters. All right. So when women say her past doesn't matter, it does. Because normally there's a trigger that gave her past, right? She partied, alcohol, drugs, the type of men she hung around with, nightlife. These are all triggers. Cigarettes, anything that accompanied that, and alcohol. So the alcohol triggered that, and it brought her back to what she said. It just ignited the what? It took me back to my
in these streets.
Took me back to my past, and it allowed me to remember those days. The coca, right? The coca, the 2C. Could be boats. It could be those things that she lived that life. Now, she's faithful. She intended to be faithful. But once she started drinking again, it ignited that. Now, she also uses terms that I don't understand because I've never been there. Blackout. All right, I blacked out. This is typically to me passing away accountability. Blacking out. I mean, come on. Blacking out means you're incapacitated, in my opinion. But blackout to them is, I don't know what happened, so I'm not going to account or be accountable for what happened. All right, I blacked out. I was just having fun. I don't understand blackout because I've never been there. All right, just to let you know. I've never got drank or done drugs long enough to black out. So I technically don't understand it, but I think it's bullshit excuse to pass off bad behavior. Okay, because blackout to me is you're passed out. All right, and you're incapacitated and you're probably vomiting on yourself. All right, but when I hear people say blackout or unconscious or you weren't completely conscious, but you were still dancing and stripping and getting naked and sucking dick, all right, that's not blackout to me, in my opinion. But there is also rage blackout, and so then I can understand rage blackout, right? Rage blackout, because yeah, you could be fully conscious and then just rage blackout and then fuck up shit like the Incredible Hulk. All right, so let's continue.
And I started hiding alcohol when I got home from traveling. I would ask to travel more because I could have that secret life, right? One night we were at a sales conference and we were all down at the bar. I was totally blackout drunk. I don't even remember.
See, that's bullshit. She said that twice. That wasn't a replay. You can see in her eyes, she's lying. She's looking down, searching for some bullshit. I was totally blacked out drunk. I was totally unconscious, but I was still stripping and dancing on tables. All right. Nah. And I was still managed to suck some dick. No. It's bullshit, in my opinion.
I was totally blackout drunk. I don't even remember how I got to where I did. And then I wound up in another man's bed.
I wound it. We're not going to play the whole video right here. I wound up in another man's bed. I don't remember how I got there. Now, to me, again, I'm not an alcoholic. I've never been into drugs. All right, I am drugs. But I was totally having fun, open bar, drinking and smoking, straight West Coasting, blacked out, and ended up sucking another dick in the bed. All right, yeah. But of course, she's married. Now, this is when dudes say girls' nights out. Don't be insecure, man. Girls' nights out are okay. But you got an alcoholic girls' nights out. They're going to cheat. I wound up in another man's bed. This is somebody's wife. Like, so my opinion on this one, if you're with an alcoholic, a woman that indulges in alcoholism, she's going to cheat. All right. All right. She's going to cheat. There's no fucking way around it. It is what it is. All right. So now, let me give you the second one. If she smokes marijuana, this is where people are going to agree. They're going to disagree with me. If she smokes marijuana, there is almost no chance she's going to stay faithful with you long term. There's none. You're just wait your time. Just wait for the other shoe to drop. If she smokes marijuana. So alcohol and marijuana, alcohol and Mary Jane, those two are the cheating drug. That's the cheating drug. Them drugs are going to lead you to cheat Because, and the reason why is because those two are what we call legal drugs in most places. They're legal. So people don't have some sort of hang up. Now, coca, 2C, obviously those will lead you to cheat, but those are illegal. We don't just assume everybody's doing coca, right? But a lot of people are. But if you could just set the clock. Marijuana, because marijuana is the gateway drug. No matter what you think, you're going to have gateway to other drugs. And those drugs are going to be, because it's going to be ecstasy, Molly, GHB, party drugs, 2C, coca, right? So the marijuana is going to lead you into that. A woman just doesn't smoke marijuana. She just doesn't smoke marijuana. She smokes marijuana and she does ketamine or she does coke. It's like, it's not literally a solo drug. Women ain't just sitting around like, I'm just smoking beads. They're normally going to indulge in something else, and that's where it's going to lead. So it is a gateway. It's a gateway. I don't care what you say. You're eventually going to indulge in some of these other ones, perks and all of these things. So if you just know for the legal perspective, if she does this, there's no chance she can maintain fidelity. She's going to cheat on you. Okay. And yes, what happens is if she smokes, the people she gets her weed from, unless she's at the dispensary, the people that she gets her weed from are normally pookie night type niggas. Pookies. So if that's the case, she's normally hanging around these type of guys. And these type of guys fuck these girls. That's not all the time, just sometimes. Sometimes a girl needs so much, because she's going to go party. And she comes and she's the bad girl. Well, she don't have all that money. She don't got $250. So she going to have to give up that pussy, right? She going to have to let him hit. That's the way she's going to be able to get the drugs. Okay, so that if she's hanging out with those type of guys, those things go hand in hand. And she doesn't look at that as cheating. Now, she knows if she gets caught, it'll be considered cheating, but she just looks at it as a means to an end. I got to be able to get access to this because I told everybody I was bringing this, and I had to give them a little bit of pussy, and I had to let them fuck on me for 10 minutes. All right, I didn't mean nothing. It meant nothing to me, but I just had to let them do it because I needed access. So those things are going to go hand in hand. And, this is undeniable. You can look at any fidelity studies. You can talk to any therapist. Alcoholism for men and women are going to lead you to make bad decisions. But what they'll do is say, I just ended up in some man's bed after blacking out. I mean, it's just not something you want to indulge in. Don't take them too seriously. Just wait. Just set the clock and you'll figure out real fast when damn, I got a group message going crazy. All right. But just set the clock. You'll realize that there's no way they can be faithful. Not in the way you want it. Okay, we got a TikTok coming up. This is an evil world we live in coming up. Who disagrees? All right, and this goes for men too. All right, but we're mostly talking about from the male perspective for women. Any woman that's an alcoholic, you could just guarantee they're going to cheat. Okay. We got, it's the evil world we live in. Check this story out. We met a wonderful couple here in New York City, and they're going to find out how they met. So this is a couple, all right? You see them. I don't know if they're married, but they got two little rugrats right here. And the guy's going to ask them how they met and became a relationship.
Excuse me, sorry. Are you two a couple? Yeah. Would you mind telling me the quick story of how you first met?
I was chasing her for years. She didn't respond to me, but I never gave up.
What made you respond eventually?
I got older after a while, and I was like, you know what, it's time to go. The egg's gonna get scrambled after a while. So
And how long ago is this?
This was 6 years ago.
Originally, we were supposed to be together for 11 years. So I've been chasing you for 5 years, and then I got a good 6 years in.
Yeah.
6 years in. Yeah. What's your favorite thing about her?
Everything. Look at her. Smile, everything. She take care of me. We fight, you feel me? But she take care of me, good care of me. And then, for me, the beautiful kids.
What's your favorite thing about him?
He has patience. My anger is really bad. So he has the patience to take care of what I can't. So I love that because if we can't be both like crash outs, he gotta like be the one to have like the calm head sometimes.
It's an evil world we live in.
And that's you.
Hey, I told you. See, I've been telling y'all for a period of time that when people say relationships can work, right? And people could say a woman can meet a man late in her life after she's 30 and so forth and so on. That, see, there is true love out here, coach. See, I see people in relationships all the time. And I always tell you, man, look, you don't know how they got together, bro. You don't know what the circumstances was. You can't just judge. Like, you're not in their bedroom. You can't just judge that I don't have a relationship, I'm a loser, and the people who have a relationship, they're the winner. They're the winner. This dynamic is one thing that I'm going to tell you I would not go for. This is a terrible result. This is a terrible testimony for relationships. And as I've been telling you, most people just settle, specifically women. And they'll say, I got me a man and there was something I liked about him and he grew on me. And, you know, I decided to like him. I decided to give him a chance. This is not what I want, and this is certainly not what men want when they become incels or they want a burning desire or they want a woman to like them. This is not the testimony that people would need to have a loving relationship. This is not what men want at all. This isn't it. This is a terrible testimony, but this is indicative of what people are doing. This is the classic relationship. All right, this is terrible. Let's go back to the beginning because we got to break this shit down like a fraction. All right. But people will say, hey, it worked out and the nice guy wins in the end. And, you know, but this is terrible. This is an awful testimony. And look, no shade on them, but this is not what men and women typically have wanted right here. Let's continue.
Sorry, are you two a couple?
Yes.
Would you mind telling me the quick story of how you first met?
All right, so let's take a look at the man and the woman here. Let's see here. All right, let's take a look at the.
Would you mind telling me the quick story of how you first?
All right, let me see something here. All right, so I'm going to tell you, man, look at her right now. Beautiful black woman, beautiful woman. All right, she got too much gums at the top of her mouth, but that's it. She's beautiful. She got a nice body. You can see the tattoos on her arm right there. Leftover remains of a time from the past. All right, you can tell she was active in these streets. You can tell she's active.
In these streets?
You can tell this woman's active, and I would call her one of the beautiful older women I wouldn't trust. Okay, so, you know, when I see beautiful older women that are single, I'll be like, nah. All right, because we knew what time it was when you was younger. All right, shout out to the two beautiful kids here.
I was chasing her for years.
I was chasing her for years. Habibi was chasing her for years. Years. Not 1 year, years. Let's continue.
Yeah, she didn't respond to me, but I never gave up.
I never gave up. What do you think she was doing during this time, though? This is where the conversation is, and he might not mind. What was she doing during those 5 years? Anybody knows? You already know. She was jumping up and down on somebody like a pogo stick. So this is why I say chasing doesn't work. All right, chasing doesn't put you in the best position. This is where you're going to pay a hell of a lot of money. Now you're going to have to pay. Now you're paying. You better do a DNA test on them kids too. Do a DNA test on them kids. All right, so here we go right here. I chased her for years, never gave up.
What made you respond eventually?
Oh, now this one. This should break your man's heart right here. What made you respond eventually? When I say most people settle, most people settle. They don't fall in love. They settle. What made you respond eventually?
I got older after.
I got older after a while. Sheesh.
I got older after a while.
I got older after a while.
And that's you.
And I was like, what? You was like, what?
And I was like, you know what? It's time to go. The egg's going to get scrambled after a while. So
I hit the wall. The wall was around the corner. And look at him over there.
And that's you.
None of them other niggas was finna marry me. None of them was taking me seriously. My eggs was about to dry up. I was on my about to throw my last good egg. And I said.
And that's you.
And somebody said one of the kids is not his. Possibly. And I wanted to have more kids. And I was like, Tom Leykis style, spin the wheel. tick 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 tick.
And that's you.
And people will call this a successful relationship. Like, to me, this is the opposite of success. This is her being in need. Alpha C, beta need. Alpha fucks, beta bucks. Now, this is most relationships, and it's fine if you got a relationship like this, but we just have to be clear. This has nothing to do with love. I loved him, and I just was attracted to him, and he was so beautiful. She didn't say none of that shit. But, Coach, what about love? She didn't say nothing like that. She said, come with me. Hail Mary. Run quick, see. What do we have here now? And you know what's about to happen when them kids get older.
I'm going to the streets. End of story.
Back to the street she goes. Okay, she's going to go back to that comfort, as a previous woman said.
And how long ago is this?
This was 6 years ago.
Originally, we were supposed to be together for 11 years. So I've been chasing you for 5 years, and then I got a good 6 years in.
What was she doing to that 5 years? What was she doing to those 5 years?
6 years in. What's your favorite thing about her?
Everything. Look at her.
Pedestalizing everything. Look at her. Look at her face. Look at her body. All right, pedestalize. Okay, let's see if she pedestalizes him. What do you like about him?
Wow, everything. She take care of me.
Okay.
We fight, you feel me? But she take care of me.
We fight. Okay, so he's got to put up with bullshit because she really don't like him. We fight.
Good care of me.
And she's New York.
Give me the beautiful kids.
What's your favorite thing about him?
Can't wait.
He has patience.
He has patience for my bullshit. He has patience for my bullshit. I really don't want to be with him. Okay, fuck it. All right, I'll let him wear me down. I got anger issues. So again, you're outside. You're judging them from the outside. They look happy. They look beautiful. But behind closed doors, she a angry biatch. And he puts up with my bullshit. I get to rant and rave and stomp my feet and slam shit or slam cabinet doors. And he puts up with it. And I love him for that.
And that's you.
My anger is really bad. So he has the patience to take care of what I can't. So I love that because if we can't be both like crash outs, he gotta like be the one to have like the calm head sometimes. So yeah.
And what's the secret to raising 3 beautiful kids together?
3.
Patience.
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 And you gotta be a little bit of a kid yourself to deal with them. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you got a little kid in you, then it's no problem. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And what are your names?
My name.
All right, we don't care about their names right there. But shout out to them right there. And I'm not shitting on their relationship. They got a beautiful relationship, meaning that they got beautiful kids, and that's what it's about. Marriage is about kids. If you don't have kids, why get married? All right, so they're raising kids, and like they said, you're going to need patience. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to raise 3 kids. But as you can see,
and that's you.
That's the classic relationship that people be out here big upping. All right, big upping. And it's possible, Coach. All right, it's an evil world we live in. How many more videos do we have here? All right, before we get to the main event. It's getting closer. It's getting hectic. Okay, we got, let's see here. We got this one right here. Who remembers me saying this in 2019? I used to show this study, and people would be like, Coach, where are you getting your information from? Where are you getting your statistics? Who remembers that? Press 1 in the chat if you remember. When I used to do this, when I had a salt and pepper beard, I used to do these shows, and people thought I was lying. People think I was literally lying. Now, when I do my shows today, people pretty much know I'm telling the truth because they're like, okay, yeah, we've seen it. Everybody's talking about it. Kevin Samuels exposed it. But I used to do this show and people thought I was bugging out. They was like, dude, where you getting your statistics from? Or where you getting your information from? And then I had to put all the information. Where's your sources? You didn't list your sources in the description box. Right? Now I'm older. Now I'm just an old fucking man doing this content. Why is this old man up here? All right, but I've been doing this for many years. It's almost been a decade. All right, so yeah, I've gotten a little older looking, and my beard is completely white. But I said this back in the day, and I said, women get bored of monogamous sex before men do. And people thought I was crazy. It was like, no, that's not true. That can't be true. Where did you get that from? Where's your sources? And I would pull up the sources. I was the original content creator to pull up sources. Like, I was the original one to put up a screen. Well, in the modern era. All right. But if you think some of the top content creators, they never put up their sources. All right. They never have a share screen. They never do research. They just get up there and talk. All right. Talk. But, people like Ringo Raw put up sources. All right. CGA, sources. I'll take the time to source the information and have a whole tab of sources. All right. Kevin Samuels would never really put up a source. Right? Not one time. All right. Maybe a few times he did here and there. All right. But every show I be putting up sources, right? To make my conversation, all right, to make my point, drive the point home clearly. Then they say you cherry pick and shit. But watch this. I want you to think about this. I said in 2018, 2019 that women get tired and bored of monogamous sex before men do. And people got broken hearted. You could not believe it. No, women seem to be more faithful. They want to have sex with their man for longer, many years. And I'm like, no, it's not true. This is why when you get in relationships, women tend to cut off sex early, or they make you jump through more hoops and hurdles early. They have a kid, 2 and 3 kids, cut it off. You have to do what? She's like, you got to reignite the spark. You got to take me shopping. She sells you the pussy back and you're in the marriage. You got to do chores. If you do more chores and pick up socks, maybe you'll get some pussy and maybe I'll find you attractive. If that's the case, if I got to pick up socks and help wash dishes for her to give me some pussy in a marriage, how does it make sense that they have not lost the interest in the monogamous sex first? It would be that you literally want your wife. I want you. And she's like, maybe if you pick up some socks, I'll have sex with you. That's literally the definition of her losing interest in you. Because if she was interested in you, she will fuck you on the spot. Here, gimme, let me take you. And she'd be like, all right, take me. I can't resist you. That would be her interested in sex. But no, she goes, I can't even get wet until you clean the dishes. That's her losing interest. With this being said, now, what I said years ago is now common. Now you have people commonly knowing these things, and I had to work hard to actually demonstrate and expose these things. I had to take a lot of L's and get demonetized for exposing this. All right, but it says right here, we have a therapist. What's the therapist's name? Damn, credit these motherfuckers. All right, let's hear what she has to say right here.
Women get bored with monogamy much sooner than men.
Really?
Yes.
That's not what men think.
No, men think she's not interested in sex. And what they should probably replace it with is that she's not interested in the sex she's going to have. In order to want sex, it needs to be sex that is worth wanting.
Oh.
For women to remain interested, it needs to be interesting. It's not about having more sex. You can have more sex and not feel much. It's about making it more alive and vibrant. That is what much of my work is about, is cultivating the eroticism and the aliveness in relationships. Women get bored with monogamy much sooner than men.
Really?
Look, and see, this is what I had to work out. Really? See, most normies can't understand this. They can't get it. They can't understand that this is the case. Why? And I'm going to tell you why. It's because women tend to be the ones promoting monogamy more. They're the ones wanting it. They're wanting you to commit. They're wanting you to give up the hose. They want you to find her pleasurable and desirable. They want you to give it up. They're constantly selling you monogamy. Isn't being a real man wanting one woman? They're constantly selling you this. And then what happens is they use that as a tactic, but they don't really plan on being monogamous, meaning that doesn't mean she's going to cheat. It just means that she's not going to have sex when you want it. All right? You're not just going to come in here and have sex with me. So this is what happens. So now what happens is she gets bored of it. She gets bored because she's probably never really been monogamous, really. But now she's bored of it. Then you count on the fact that you're bad in bed. You're predictable. She knows what you're going to do each and every time. or you have it more often and it means nothing. So then she tries to pull you back. She cuts off the sex spigot. She tries to give you less of it so for it to be better when you get it. So she already knows what she's fixing to get, and so she's not going to be pleasurable. She's not going to desire it. So she didn't marry you for sex purposes, monogamy. The monogamy ensures that you are going to guarantee that she gets supported only and no other women get supported. That's a selfish desire. It doesn't mean, now she doesn't mean she doesn't want to see you having sex with another woman. She probably finds that, disgusting as well. But she's more concerned about the money and the resources of you supporting another woman. Okay, or going to get other women, or keeping a roster full of women. So that's where her concern is. So the monogamy benefits her. It benefits her only. She gets to have her house. She gets to have her kids, her car. That's what the monogamy ensures. It's not that she's just thinking about the sex monogamy. It's that the monogamy benefits her. But she's going to get bored of the monogamous sex. For certain. She's going to be the first one that does. And most guys cannot understand this. That means adventurous sex, risky sex, sex in the, that means like if you want to be like, hey, we're in a parking lot right now and nobody can see us and it's midnight. Let's go have sex. Let's go out and let's go have sex on the top of the roof. No, she ain't doing none of that shit. Not your wife. Okay. Your girlfriend, she'll do it. Your wife, she can be like, no, stop. You'll be like, we're in the changing room. Let's just get it in real quick. Your wife, she can be like, no. Your wife for 5 years, and you're like, let's get it in real quick. Suck my dick real quick in the car while we're waiting at the traffic light. She can be like, huh? Roadhead? God, no. Okay? So you see what I'm saying here. And most guys don't get it even today. They don't get it. This is almost guaranteed. It's written in our biology. Written. And I know you guys are announcing somebody's dead. That shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, at all. It was a surprise he lived that long. Rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. But most guys aren't going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're just going to think that, oh, okay, we have sex 8 to 10 times a month and she's satisfied. No. She misses the guy she's attracted to. Because I want you to go back and listen to what this woman said. All right, which goes back to what women want, attraction. All right, so here we go right here. I said this years ago, fam.
And get bored with monogamy much sooner than men.
Really?
Yes.
That's not what men think.
That's not what men think. Exactly, because men are dumb. You guys are dumb out here. You guys won't listen to me at all. That's not what men think. Well, then you guys roll the dice and you go out there and get married and she turns off the sex spigot. That's not what men think. She really loves me. She says she loves my dick. She says he's the only one I come for. Yep, she said that shit. That doesn't mean that's the only man she desires. She desires another man. She thinks of another man when I'm having sex with her. What do I tell you? Men in ego is not your amigo. I said, you got to remove your ego from women. Just like women, men have a desire for women for ego. Women have a desire for men for money. When your ego is destroyed, you can't even be with a woman no more. You'd be like, damn. That's not what men think. You're going to find out. Go ahead and get married. Go ahead and get into a relationship. Go ahead and cohabitate. And you're going to find out, bro. You're going to find out on your own that sex spigot going to turn off. Period.
No, men think she's not interested in sex. And what they should probably replace it with is that she's not interested in the sex she's going to have.
Facts. Because you're lazy, you want to go, you don't take a shower. You guys don't work on your body. You don't continue to improve. This is why I challenge these guys. Why should I improve to qualify for a woman? Because when you get a woman, if you don't continue to improve, likelihood that she's going to not fuck you anymore. So you don't want to improve to get the woman, but then you want to not improve when you get the woman. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So you don't want to get better in bed. You don't want to explore. You don't want to be experimental. You don't want to be enthusiastic. You giving her the same ass. And guess what? She's not interested in the sex she's fixing to have. So now you're all turned on and you're trying to get into the bedroom. And she's like, you about to give me that 5-stroke special. You about to give me that 1-minute quickie. You about to give me that 2-minute jammy. You about to give me that lazy love. You about to fuck me on the side again. Right here. You ain't gonna eat my pussy, and you're gonna nut and not let me get mine. Well, female orgasm is not important, ass nigga. All right. So again, as I tell you, see, a female orgasm isn't essential to sex. Okay. Guess what? Please don't get married. Please do not cohabitate. You're going to have a woman want to cut that sex spigot off quickly. If a woman knows that she's not going to get pleasured and she's only going to give pleasure, you're going to get, it's over. Please don't get married. And I'm not saying that you have to get a woman to that arousal. I'm just saying, bro, you ain't going to be very well long term. You're going to be living by yourself, nigga.
In order to want sex, it needs to be sex that is worth wanting.
Yep, there you go. This is a fact.
For women to remain interested, it needs to be interesting.
She's spitting. And most guys going to hate this shit because it's a woman saying it.
It's not about having more sex. You can have more sex and not feel much. It's about making it more alive and vibrant. That is what much of my work is about, is cultivating the eroticism and the aliveness in relationships.
Eroticism and aliveness. And to me, monogamy kills that. To be fair, to bring it back, monogamy kills eroticism. It kills excitement. It's boring. It's predictable. You see each other. You see her coming out of the shitter and walk into the bathroom and it smell like dookie in there. The mystery is gone. You see how she sleep, mouth wide open, drooling and shit. Snoring. All right, it kills it. Monogamy kills all of these things. It kills excitement. It kills enthusiastic sex to the point where if either person cheats, the sex is never like it is with the wife or the husband. It's always spontaneous, erotic, passionate, arousal. It's not that you don't have that with your spouse or your mate. It's that the new person is exciting. It's arousing. It's enthusiastic. Yep. You see people farting and digging in their nose and shit like that and flicking boogers across the room. Like, there's no way you could be aroused by this person mentally, physically, or biologically. There's no way. After seeing this over and over again, her hair in a bonnet, or she take her hair hat off, shout out to Tommy, and it's cornrows. Her hair's in there's no way you can maintain this. So there's going to be boredom there. And it's going to happen, guys. You can't counter this. Now, when you do have sex, as the great Chris Rock said, you're having intercourse. So people are going to say, I have sex with my husband. I have sex with my wife. You're having intercourse. You're not having sex. Sex is passionate. It's spontaneous. It's arousing. It's erotic. Most of the time when you have sex with your person, it's going to be predictable. It's going to be scheduled. It's going to be more silent. It's not going to be passionate. It's going to be intercourse. So don't tell me you having sex. You just having intercourse. And predictable scheduled intercourse. Let's have sex on Thursday, and then you have to go all the way down the line of going on a date and going to the same thing. She had to have 3 glasses of wine or a whole bottle. She had to pop. You had to drop the kids off at the grandma, rush home. You know what I mean? You know, rush home. The babysitter got to get relieved of their duties at midnight. All right. And then now y'all having this rush home. You got to go to the hotel, rent it by the hour. Pick up your kids from the babysitter. You can only fuck for, we got 15 minutes. Bitch had dessert and ice cream. And you're like, bitch, we got to get to the hotel. You trying to get your nut real quick. Got to get dressed real quick so you can be there. The babysitter's looking at the clock when them niggas coming back. Come home. Hi. We're home. All right. Yo, bro, that's undesirable shit. Let's go to the next one here, and then I'll do the main event. Okay. How many more videos do I fucking got? All right, it's something like that. All right, anyway, we'll do the main event. That's the evil world we live in. All right.
It's an evil world we live in.
Yeah, she get diarrhea. Oh, I got diarrhea. I got super duper sick. I don't think I can do anything. I can't even suck dick. All right. Ugh. I think I got the runs. And I'll be like, I don't care if you got the runs. All right, I'm going to push them runs onto the pillowcase. Shit. Okay, enough about that. By the way, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. This is the gospel. I know y'all hate this truth, but it is the truth. Do me a favor, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right, that's what we're going to do real quick.
The Money Mindset 2025. Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back to where it needs to be. This is the blue chip mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects, cryptocurrency, investment, money 101, money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, we give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation. What are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the Money Mindset link. Let's get our blue chip mindset on. The window is still open.
All right, we got it going on here, man. Thank you for taking this break. Do me a favor, hit the like button. And for those just joining us, YouTube did kick me off, or somebody kicked me off, and we had to restart the show. So there was a part of the show in the first video that set up this main event. And the main event is going to be this real quick. And I want y'all to listen up. Give me your ears, stop and stare. It says the number one reason why we are never going back to what we call suburban or traditional housewife, this era that men seem to be keen in on. For some reason, a lot of men tend to be keen into this era because it seemed like they were able to get relationships and women a little bit easier. You know, typically people got married when they were younger. They had children when they were younger, right? These type of things, right? The average age of people getting married for women was 21. The average age for men was 23. They were able to build a life together. The divorce rate got a little bit higher at this point when you got to the 1970s due to no fault divorce. But people tend to feel like people loved each other more. The women were more loyal. They didn't cheat. They wanted to stay at home and make biscuits and apple pies and cupcakes. Like, this is an era that men think that was an advantage, right? The woman couldn't just up and leave. They couldn't divorce you and take half. Okay, the women were happier at home raising children. Now, these are the things that we realize that most are not coming back. But guys then look at the current situation that I outlined and they say, well, these women just want to sell sex and they are out here whoring around and they're out here doing this stuff that I predicted that we were going to be in today, that men still want me to fight the battle. Okay. You want me to fight the battle to get women and drag them back, specifically black women, but y'all want me to get all women and drag them back to this era. And you want me to shame and ridicule them. It's no way to do it because I knew we were going to be here. I wrote about this in my book. I knew we would be here based on the way things are legislated, the laws, the society, mass media, and so forth and so on. All right. The way things were going, we were never going back to that. And I outlined it in my book right here. All right. In my book, De-Evolution. Go pick it up. The link's in the description box below. Okay. But, you know, there's going to be things that started to change in the 1970s. And I'm going to give you the number one reason why we're never coming back to this. But if you read the first chapter or the introduction into my book, De-Evolution, the introduction, it's going to explain all of the legal ramifications and legislations and laws that took place specifically in the 1970s. Not only that, the entertainment industry and so forth and so on that changed the purview of women, the way they viewed life. Now, when we get to where we are in 2025, we're at the point of no return in the moment of truth. We are living this right now, and you have to acknowledge that this is our time and era. This is who women are in the United States. This is who they are. And it's not changing. We can't get to the moment of truth of realizing what women are doing. Most single women, not the married women, the single women, what they're doing. You know, they're monetized dating. They're playing around. They're living their best life. They're fucking around in their 20s. And then they trash it over to you when it's too late, like we saw in this couple. At the end, the buzzer starts to beat. They just throw it over on you. Okay, here, you take this and you be a real man. All right, I had my fun and I'm ready to settle down type shit. Not only that, the economics of things. The economics makes it so that men cannot afford to actually support a relationship or a woman or a marriage or children. And then the women are trying to do what? As we said earlier, they're trying to get theirs too. They want their own cars. They want their own houses. They want their own everything. So this is where things are coming to a head, where men thinking that if we shame them and we ridicule them and we call them prostitutes or pseudo prostitutes, that they're going to change their behavior. But it's too late because we've already adapted. Now, I'm going to reveal the number one reason why things are never going back to this. You're never going to get this. You're never getting that era back. You're never getting SWV 1990s back. You're never getting 1950s housewives back. You're never getting women that are going to love you for you. You're never going to get that. Okay? Even this guy right here couldn't get it. And he's got 3 kids deep. Even she said, nah, it wasn't about that. He had to chase her around for 11 years or 5 years and get 6 years out of her. Okay, so the love is gone. There's no reason for women to fall for those fantasies anymore. They kind of give that up in their 16, 17, 18, 19. And then once 20 comes, that's not why they look for relationships. Let me play this video of this young, spicy Latina here. It looks like it, or Middle Eastern. She's going to tell us this about why women have certain standards or expectations. She's going to say why.
I hate when a motherfucker be like, I don't know why a girl want flowers and this, that, and the third. They want this whole fantasy vibe. Baby, yes. We grew up watching Disney princesses. Why is it not clicking? Why is it not clicking, Steven? We didn't watch a man chase a girl that dropped a shoe, had every girl in the village try this shoe on until he found that one. Maybe I don't even want to get deep into it. Maybe I need to watch it. Take some notes.
Okay, so my man Smackhead got the answer that I was looking for. That is my answer for the day. Shout out to Smackhead. All right, in the comment section, and I think maybe he might have been the only one to say this, but I wasn't looking. Social engineering has already happened. The reality is the reason why you're never going to get women to shame them and get them back to the plantation and act right and have better attitudes and understand the thing for position from it. You already are trying to be social engineering and you can't. We have had decades of social engineering and programming to get us to this point. And we are talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars being spent to change the direction of our culture. The reason why shaming ain't gonna work no more is you got social engineering in full effect, and you still have it today. So let me show you something here. Let me show you something. And social engineering is a hard thing to look up because, of course, in certain aspects of, believe it's AI or in cybersecurity, if you look it up, that will come up with social engineering there. But in a political science world, in political science, social engineering refers to the efforts to influence attitudes and social behaviors on a large scale. This can be done by governments or other powerful entities like mass media or private groups to achieve desired changes in populations. And it says right here, it's the way of shaping public opinion and actions, often through careful crafted messages and strategies. Okay. Okay. Carefully crafted messages and strategies. Okay. Let's go down further. All right, and I'm using AI for this one, but I have other sources, Wikipedia and so forth and so on. I have history and all of these things, but I'm just reading something easy. Large-scale influences. Unlike individual manipulation, social engineering in political science aims to affect the beliefs, values, and actions of a large group of people. Goal-oriented. The purpose is usually to create specific attitudes or behaviors that align with the goals of the entity implementing the social engineering strategy. Methods. Social engineering in the context can involve the very variety of techniques, including propaganda, spreading information, often biased or misleading to influence public opinion. Number 2, public relations, shaping the image of a person, women in this case, an organization, or an idea to gain public support. Education and persuasion, using educational programs and persuasive communication to promote certain viewpoints. Now, let me stop right there because this could be easy. I outlined it in my book. The Evolution, and I talked about this. Name certain phrases just in relationship to women in dating that we hear and we've heard for decades. I don't need no man. Strong and independent. Okay, most educated. These things, women buy more houses than single men. Single women buy more houses than single men. Soon as it goes out once, boom, my brainstem don't develop till 25. You have the educational system, which is ground zero. Yep, my body, my choice. My body, my choice. These are all social engineering propaganda that has shaped and changed the direction of how relationships are going to be proceed. Now, we know this, but we have to understand that we don't overcome this by shaming women and calling them prostitutes and whores. It's not gonna work. Telling them they're gonna hit the wall and they're not gonna find a man. Okay, all they need is to find one woman to say opposite, and now it's not true. Now it's not true. Okay, this woman is 45. She found a man, and they having a baby naturally, so I can do it too. Future is female. Propaganda, social programming. The future is female. Okay, so when you have women easily eat this up, and we have our own as men, okay, when you have them constantly being fed this, they're going to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. They don't have any choice. And then all they have to do is have music. Music. Music is going to be the great introduction in one of these, in this lifestyle. So you're telling women one thing, Beyonce's telling them another. Nicki Minaj is telling them another. Sexy Red is telling them another. Okay, they're listening to Sexy Red on repeat. Okay, they're only hearing you once. They only heard your misogynist tweet one time. Okay, God is a woman. Girl boss. Okay, these are all things. Yep, 30's the new 20. You see, these things are just conversations and concepts that come up. Now, do you think these things come out of nowhere, or do you think they're crafted? So the music encourages them. All the women independent. All right. These are all things. Black Girl of Magic. These are all things that are carefully crafted. And if you don't think so, you're wrong. These are not mistake. These are not just a whoopsie, I just came up with this. These are things that the social programmers, the social engineers came up with to shape the image of the person, the organization, to gain public support. The education to persuade, communication to promote certain viewpoints, often spreading information, often biased or misleading to influence public opinion, and to do what? To create specific attitudes or behaviors that align with the goal of the entity implementing the social engineering strategy. Who are the social engineers? And I know I'm jumping around. Well, they mentioned them earlier, but I'm going to go in a little bit deeper. Number one, they mentioned governments. Okay, so governments, this is obvious. The government. How can they benefit from this? Well, you got taxation through women in the workplace. But women don't care as long as they get their paycheck. All right, I'm getting my paycheck, I make my money. But what have they done? They've actually kind of killed dating, right? They killed dating and relationships and marriage because men had a purpose, right? Now the purpose is gone. Oh, you can still get married and we can be partners. Partners is another one. That comes from the Booty Duke Shooter Rainbow Coalition. That comes from the Rainbow Alphabet community, partners. All right, they called themselves partners throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now today, partners is used as a form of relationship for men and women. All right, heterosexual men and women. Then you have mass media. Okay, mass media. Okay, commercials, corporations, anything when you relate to a commercial. Okay, movies, Hollywood, the news, Fox, CNN. All right, go down the line, MSNBC. and so forth and so on. Now you got social media. Social media got men and women at each other's neck, at war. All right. You got Sprinkle, and then you got Drizzle. You got Andrew Tate, and then you got Call Her Daddy podcast. You got Kevin Samuels, then you got Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Okay, you got opposing opinions going at each other neck and neck. People get tired of the conversation, but the conversation's never going to end. Then you have social media promoting one side and less the other. You have one side, less the other, or it'll switch. One side's now being promoted less. Is this on purpose or is this on accident? Who else? Private groups and corporations. Okay, who could be private groups and corporations? People that have a vested interest in division. Sorge Goros, billionaires. All right, the Pledging Fund, billionaires. Okay, these people, all right, people who are philanthropists. You could say Rothschilds, you could say the Andrew Carnegie, you could say I can't think of his name, all right, but you have these people, private banks. All right, these are people of the Black Lives Matter, Democrats. All right, these people that have these organizations that they call Act Blue, the Rockefellers. That's who I was thinking of. Vanguard, BlackRock. These are all private organizations that pour in millions and billions in through philanthropy and or donating to organizations to get them to have a result, and then further spread the message. Okay, further spread the message. Anybody might say the you-know-who-ish agenda, if you want to say. Then they put up certain people, puppets, and people who are aligned with this message, and they entertain them. Entertainment industry. Comedians are paid and bought for. You also have public figures, figureheads of organizations, particularly like Martin Luther King. Figurehead. He was an arousing speech a speaker, but he had a puppet. Donald Trump, to an extent, similar. All right, these people all have people pushing buttons and their hand up their back of their shirt. So these people are somewhat public, but they're private. Let me go ahead and show you this right quick. Where we're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars, but they use comedians, particularly these comedians like Stephen Colbert, The Late Night Show. I can't remember some of these guys' name. These people are puppets. They're aligned with these private organizations. They pay them millions of dollars, and then they say certain things, right? And it's always the same thing. Stephen Colbert, anti-Trump, right? Anybody that is on the Republican side, they say that they're anti-Democrat. But they're paid for. They're bought and paid for. All right, to the point where Steve Harvey, Jimmy Fallon, he's Kevin Hart, Shaquille O'Neal, to an extent, kind of has this going on because he has a vested interest in promoting women's basketball. But his vested interest is money because he's invested in Angel Reese, right? So there's a hidden movement. He's like, these WNBA players need to be paid more. Why? He represents Angel Reese in a way. Plies, D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley. These are all people, comedians have often had a hand in propaganda. All right, with that being said. So these people are paid. They're always going to say one thing, which is going to be what this thing even described here, which was the social engineering. All right, you think you're watching a show, a movie. How many times have you done that? You think you're watching a show and a movie and it's political. That happened to Empire. That happened to a lot of movies. You go see it. And then all of a sudden, there's some political shit. That happened to Cars 3. You think it's just a movie and entertainment, but now you realize, oh, somebody dumped some money in here to do some propaganda, right? It's going to be some message, political hidden message. Or you're watching a show and you see two niggas kissing, right? So you're like, what happened? What happened? All right, why are we doing this? All right, so this has always been the case. But you also have people in education, sociologists, psychologists, people that are in the humanities, arts and humanities, people that are in the Chicano studies, the African American studies, the gender studies, right? You think you're taking a class, and what does the university say? Look, you need to have certain many credits outside of your major. And then what are those classes? Propaganda classes, right? You got to learn some propaganda. All right. So you're going to take a sociology class, an anthropology class. You're going to take some sort of gender studies class, a child development class. You're going to take a class on Black history or Chicano studies or women's histories. And then all of a sudden, you're there to major in business. And now you're taking some propaganda classes because you got to meet some 30 credit unit of electives. All right. So they ain't going to let you skip them electives. They ain't going to let you just go study business. They like, go get that propaganda. And go get that Marxist teacher. So that Marxist teacher over there, you minding your own business and they hitting you over the head. Hey, we need to activate. We need activism. We need to go to the march. We need to do this. We need to support that. We need to donate to this. We need to protest against that. And you over there want to major in business, but now you taking this fucking sociology class and now you are activated. Activism. And they telling you the white man is this and the black man is that and you are this and you are queen and you are God. This is all social engineering. So you can't beat this. The universities got millions and billions of dollars invested. The entertainment industry does. The social media platforms do. The private organizations, Soros does. The government entities, mass media. You think you about to shame some hoes? You think you're about to stop this with a debate on YouTube? You think CGA, telling CGA he needs to call these women out to hold them accountable? You think that we have the power to do this? And it goes even further. And I'm going to see if we can wrap this shit up. But I want to show you this. I'm going to show you how innocent it could be. It could look. Okay. Let me show you this first. This is 1990. Now, when the 90s, all right, 1990s. Oh, by the way, it almost starts with young people. All right. For people like me, 50, they don't care about us. As long as we're not causing problems, which we are. I'm a rebel rouser. They could simply just get rid of me or bump me off or make it hard for me to do things or affect my money. I'm older. They're not trying to change my opinion. I'm an old dog. They just hope I don't change the opinion of young people who can be influenced. And in that case, I'm making you aware. I'm raising awareness, all right, of this happening. But they want to change the mind of young people in elementary school. That's where early indoctrination happens. Then they go into high school, into colleges, and then they try to get the younger people through mass media into their 30s. By the end, you're hooked. You're hooked. And then you have women out here still 32, 33 talking that bullshit that they've learned for the last 20, 30 years. All right, but that's neither here nor there. Let me show you this video right here. This is a commercial that you would not see today.
We'll be right back.
Look who's coming to make it great. Yeah, we're making something new with Easy Bake. Really baking.
I can bake a real cake.
Decorating.
Wait till you see what I can make.
M&M's cakes.
They're so fun to do.
M&M's colors and colors for you.
All right, so you get the idea. All right, you get the idea. This is an Easy Bake Oven, and they got the girls in their frilly dresses and their cardigans and their barrettes and braids, and they got the mom. Today, you ain't seeing this commercial, fam. You ain't getting this commercial in 2025, 30 years later, 25 years later. You ain't getting this commercial. You ain't getting this commercial, fam. You ain't getting women. You gonna get some two kids. You're gonna get two boys making this fucking commercial. They're gonna get a boy and a girl, or a boy and a boy making this commercial in 2025. Okay, so this is what we call then, since you're not getting these commercials, why aren't we getting these commercials? All right, why ain't we getting these commercials now? Okay, let me just show you this. So this was the 60s where they making pies and shit. We go right here. The Easy Bake Oven shit.
Only Kenner's Easy Bake Oven set makes such delicious cakes, cookies, candy, brownies, pizza, pies, and
There's
biscuits.
the boy. They got a fat boy over there just stealing all the cookies the sister made.
It bakes like magic with 2 ordinary light bulbs and has a special cooling chamber. Easy Bake by Kenner.
All right, so now you get women saying, I ain't cooking, I ain't cleaning. What did Cardi B say? I don't cook, I don't clean. I just put what I got in between. And now these women like, I got that WAP. Meanwhile, Cardi B then lost a side nigga and a husband in 2 years. Okay, so this is what you got. All right, this is what you got. You just have this complete disappearing of what was in the past. So this is the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Easy bake oven. Now you got girls that I don't cook, and they pride themselves on that. I ain't cooking shit. You ain't beating it. You ain't just gonna beat it by debating. Let me show you this. Who's heard of this guy right here? Bayard Rustin. Anybody ever heard of this guy? If you into the movement, the civil rights movement, you've heard of this guy, Bayard Rustin. And this is just an example of how social engineering can occur and how people can play the background. You never hear them. Okay, I'll tell you. Have you heard of Martin Luther King? You've heard of him, obviously. Okay, Martin Luther King. Everybody's heard of him. Then you have people like Andrew Jackson, if you will. You have other people, Ralph Abernathy, and all of this stuff. All right, you have these people that you can remember clearly because they told you who they were. All right, they told you who they were. So we're going to show you. Okay, Martin Luther King. You have, I think that's Abernathy right there, the one turning his face. But there's a guy right here. This guy, Bayard Rustin. There's a reason you didn't hear about him. The reason why you didn't hear about him is because, number one, he was an admitted Marxist. Number two, he was also homosexual. In that time, he had to play the background. Okay, now, Martin Luther King and them rolled with him. He was very pivotal from the beginning of the civil rights movement. He was around at the very beginning, right around the Montgomery bus boycott. And I watched a recent documentary that highlighted him very much. All right. He was a very pivotal figure in this group. Now, many years, nobody talked about him, but now they're talking about him because now we live in a world where we're open to this type of relationships between men. Okay. Unfortunately. But he was a communist. He was a Marxist, and he was an admitted one, which means, in effect, if that was the case, well, who was Martin Luther King influenced by? He wrote speeches for Martin Luther King. He actually organized Martin Luther King. Okay, which means, in effect, he was the guy behind the entire civil rights movement, if you don't really know that. He was the guy who had the right-hand man for Martin Luther King the entire time. Okay, so this is people who have been trained to do this, inspired, activated, activism to do this. And he was the biggest activist in the Martin Luther King civil rights group. Okay, he was the guy. He was the man. It says Bayard Rustin was an indispensable force behind the civil rights movement and openly gay. All right, so we're seeing where it started. It didn't start yesterday with that. It started a long time ago. I'm going to go down and read a couple of things here just so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, they're talking about his early life. They also said right here, in 1937, Rustin went to the City College of New York, where he joined the Young Communist League because he was attracted to the league's progressive views on racial issues. But when the group focus shift with the start of World War II to support the Soviet Union as opposed to racial injustice in the U.S., Rustin left the organization. He was staunchly against the war and would be arrested and jailed in 1944 as a conscious objector after refusing to register for the draft. All right, so that's him. After leaving the group, he shifted his attention to socialism. Joining the Fellowship of Reconciliation, FOR, in 1941. The group, led at the time by somebody else I can't pronounce, advocated for peace, labor rights, and equality for all people unless those people were gay. In 1953, after more than 10 years and numerous arrests while working for FOR, Rustin was fired from his position as Secretary for Student and General Affairs when he was arrested in Pasadena, California, for having sex with another man in a parked car and charged with sex perversion. It was one of many times that his sexuality would be used against him. But the experience with FOR wasn't for nothing. It was through this interest in socialism that Rustin met his mentor, A. Philip Randolph. In 1941, Rustin, along with Randolph and the other guy, had proposed a march on Washington to combat discrimination of black workers in the Defense Department. 1941. That was way before the 1960-something March on Washington and by Martin Luther King. So this was already an idea nearly 20 years prior. We're going to march on Washington. It was ironic. Martin Luther King marched on Washington, all right, 20 years later. And it says right here, before the march came to fruition, President FDR signed an executive order to open up the defense industry for black people, but the bond between Rustin and Randolph would last for decades. In fact, it was Randolph who persuaded Rustin to meet with Martin Luther King in Montgomery, Alabama in 1956 to show support for the Montgomery bus boycott. A young King would be forever changed with this encounter with Rustin. Okay? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is not to really kind of throw dirt on this movement and the civil rights movement and this and that. The reason I'm bringing this up is to show you how social engineering works. It is not overnight. This guy was already activated in the 30s. Okay? Well before Dr. King was probably even born. He was already in the game. He was already in the know. He was already in the communist, the progressive, the socialist movement, the Marxist. He was already in, and he just needed a catalyst. He needed a lightning rod, and it was King. So he was able to bring that in, writing speeches right here, it says right here, after consulting with his colleagues and advisors, including his close confidants, advisors and speechwriters, Clarence Jones, King decided to distance himself from Rustin. All right. And this was because there were some other things going on right there. It says he would accuse King of having an affair with Rustin. Okay. And that was Adam Clayton Powell accused Martin Luther King of having an affair with Rustin. See, these things that we see, the alphabet community, these agendas have been already almost in play for many decades before. You're now seeing it out in front of us, but it wasn't overnight. Just like you see with modern women, you think modern women change, and there's something about these. It was not overnight. You know, these women have definitely been and men and women, Americans have been socially engineered to do a certain thing. And people have a vested interest, activists, government, sociologists, you know, communists, Marxists, and then they hide in the shadows. They hide in the shadows. All right, they hide in the shadows. So this guy, who was a very pivotal person for the result of Martin Luther King, was almost lost in history, but he was the most important person. And his fight for black rights ended up being, the next fight was for gay rights, right? Because that ended up being the next thing. Once black got their thing, then the gay people will say, hey, we're just like you. We've been persecuted like you. Like, our history is like yours. Like, you know, our rights, we want our rights too. So that naturally was the next transition, right? The blacks got their rights. Now it's time for the gay people to get their rights. Right? And so now when you see it, now we're in 2025, and now we see who has the power, right? We see now who you can talk about and who you can't talk about. You see where the power is. And that's a total dynamic shift in our world that took almost 100 years. Let's take this one individual. He goes back to the 1930s. That's almost 100 years ago. And you're thinking, what's going on? And we need to change it. And CGA needs to strike out against these women and call them out. Bruh, I told you right here. I told you we were going to be here. I told you in 2019, women are going to be selling peacefully for bottles of water. Out in the open, overtly. And that's where we are. And now y'all like, we need to shame them and call them out. Guys, what I'm telling you is this. It's never coming back. Okay? It's never coming back. It's not coming back for the masses. And the longer we go at it, it's not coming back for damn near everybody.
Larry Bird's not walking through that door, fans. Kevin McHale's not walking through that door, and Robert Parrish is not walking through that door.
Yeah.
And if you expect them to walk through the door, they're going to be gray and old.
Yep. Now, you'll have a woman temporarily stop her social engineering, all right? So she'll temporarily stop it. She'll say, no, I don't believe in that much anymore. I wasn't like that. You know, when I was younger, I did. When I got older, I did. Why is she going to temporarily suspend it? Because what this woman said right here, okay? Why is she going to temporarily suspend her belief system?
I was chasing her for years.
Listen.
She didn't respond to me, but I never gave up.
What made you respond eventually?
I got older after a while, and I was like, you know what, it's time to go. The egg's gonna get scrambled after a while. So.
That's why they'll temporarily suspend their belief system. They'll temporarily stop being whores. They'll temporarily stop being in the streets. They'll temporarily stop doing drugs. They'll temporarily stop selling pussy. They'll temporarily stop banging Chad and Tyrone. They'll temporarily stop. All right. They'll temporarily stop doing and retire from OnlyFans. They'll stop temporarily. All right. They'll put it on hold. And then they'll find somebody else to host this particular temporary change. They'll turn the chapter. They'll move forward. They'll have a new era. They'll be on a journey temporarily. They'll find the host. You'll fall for it like this guy. And then 50%, 60% divorce rate coming. And a sexless marriage. You know what scrambled the inside of them guts? Because biology happens. This is the reality. We have biology and social programming. Biology tells us a woman's ready to have kids 14 to 28. What does social programming tell us? Well, I'll show it. Let me see here. I'm going to show you. This is what social programming tells us. And it's right here in front of you. It says, or older women becoming first-time moms amid U.S. fertility rate declines. And the women are celebrating this. Yes! See? We could do it. See, they lied to us. There is no wall. It's better to have babies when you're young. You're a better parent. They eat it up immediately. It's like immediate. So you're telling me after tens of thousands of years, it's better for women to have kids in their 40s. For what reason? A selfish reason. So that means they can fuck around and ride the cock carousel into their 40s. They don't have to settle down and pick a mate until their 40s. That's social programming. They right here in the mass media, and they put that shit up in there. Boom. But they don't tell the whole story. They don't tell because 14 to 19-year-olds are the leading cause of early terminations of pregnancy. Young women are on birth control. Young women are fucking multiple men in their 14 to 25. Right? Right? Young women on OnlyFans. Young women selling pussy. They ain't talking about that part. They're just saying older women are having more babies. Why? IVF. These aren't natural babies. Test tube babies. People are getting married later. They promoted an agenda for young women to kill their kids. I mean, they're not bringing that part up. All right. That's why young women aren't registering as having kids, because they plan B in them and they killing them. You see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? But they don't talk about that part. They leave that part out conveniently. And then they say, well, why aren't these older men wanting to get married? These younger men should want to marry these older women. They can still have babies. They're still viable. The number of people over 40 giving birth, people giving birth. You mean women? The number of people giving birth. You mean women? Over 40 giving birth surpasses teens for the first time in history. As I told you, social programming is too deep. It's too deep. They're not going to give these women the entire story. They're not going to give you the cost of IVF. They're not going to give you the percentage of natural births, right? Where the woman got knocked up and took one of those piss tests and said, "Oh, I'm pregnant. We're happy." They're not going to talk about how many rounds of IVF fertilization. They're going to talk about teenage early termination of pregnancy, teenage fornication. They're not going to talk about any of this shit. Teenage birth control, the amount of women that are teenage women are having more sex than teenage men. They're not going to talk about any of that in the article. I will, and then I'll get censored. Why? Because they don't want me to tell you that part. They don't want me to tell you that part. It was never their intentions as a social engineer in programming for me to tell you that part. They wanted to leave that part out. They wanted the girls to be like, yes, this is better. But they also left out the part that we're going to get rid of grandmothers forever. If we keep this cycle going, nobody will ever meet their grandmother. Yes. You'll never know your grandmother. If you're 40 and have a kid and your daughter's 40 and have a kid, you'll be dead as a motherfucking doorknob. All right? As a grandmother. You'll never hold your grandkids if you outlive them. They don't talk about that. See, that's the part they don't want to talk about. They don't want the truth speakers to talk about that because we're countering the programming. So they're going to do what? Demonetize us, shadow ban us, hide us behind us. Because this is billions of dollars going against CGA. CGA going against $1 billion industry. But you guys then piss me off because you want me to just be out here ranting and raving about these women as if changing the women's mind is going to be the answer. Girls, you shouldn't be out here in these streets until 31. They don't give a fuck about what I'm talking about. They just going to label me a misogynist and keep it moving. They're just going to report my video and keep marching. Nobody gives a fuck about that debate. And let me just tell you, we've been having that debate for about a better part of 10 years, and it ain't moved the needle not a one goddamn inch. So I don't even know why you want me to get riled up. Continue to push this goofy red pill loser narrative that is going nowhere. I wrote you the book right here, nigga. Pick it up. This is where we're going. This is where we are, and it ain't going back, period. So enjoy it while you can. Go get you some pussy from it because these women are selling it. Now you don't have to get married. It freed you. Now you don't have to take care of no kids. Now you don't have to get put on child support. Now you can go overseas. If you want to go somewhere where it exists, go somewhere where they're 20 years behind. Brazil, Philippines, Colombia. Go somewhere where it's 20 years behind and you can go up there and have a little bit of an impact where they ain't demanding you to pay, you know, for mortgages and shit like this, where you can go up in there. You free. But y'all constantly complaining and ranting and raving and all this shit ain't gonna get you nowhere because it ain't changing. Unless the powers that be want to change it. Unless they want to invest. If they start dumping billions and reversing this shit, it'll get reversed. If universities fired all the communist Marxist professors, it'll get reversed. If they wanted to just promote family values, it will get reversed right on the pivot, right on the head. But it ain't. Because that's not what's being told. That's not what's being taught. Anybody want to debate me on this, bro? Go ahead and do so. But good luck out there. As long as women are saying the future is female and I'm independent, I'm going to get my degree and the job and I'm going to have my own money. And as long as they're saying that, you guys are fucking cooked. Right? You're cooked. And I want a partnership. As long as they're saying that, bro, you cooked. If she says she wants a partnership, go ahead and just say it's over. All right, because partnership is not ideal. All right, right here. I gave you 2 classic books, The Free Agent Lifestyle and De-Evolution, enough to free your goofy ass. But you want me over here in your pity party to ride with you, to be, you know, ranting and raving and try to call these hoes out. Man, please, bro. I make enough money where I don't got to do that on the internet. I make enough money doing that. I can make more money, I guess. But I can make more money without doing all that shit, bro. All right, fuck y'all niggas. Fuck y'all niggas. All right, go read my books. Okay, but fuck y'all. I'm not going to Andrew Tate my way around here. All right, where they going to make me a target and start bringing up lawsuits. Nigga, hey, go live free, bro. You been free. Go get the Free Agent Lifestyle book and live that shit. Go to the JUCO, live that shit. All right, but you ain't stopping women from jumping on the internet, on Instagram, putting their asses out. Nigga, don't go on Instagram then. All right? They got their ass and titties out over there. Meanwhile, I'm shadow banned. Ain't nothing I can do about it, bro. I'm like this. You like, you're out here promoting. I'm not promoting the damn thing, bro. This is how I'm looking at you niggas today in the red pill. This is how I'm looking at you goofy ass niggas in the red pill. Take a look at the screen right now. This is how I'm looking at y'all. The fight is over. Ain't nothing y'all can do. I ain't bringing it back. It ain't coming back. This is how I'm looking at y'all niggas. All right, go ahead and get a coaching call. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Money Mindset. Go to Locals. We're going to figure out how to have fun in this marketplace. But we ain't fixing to be miserable out here, bro. We ain't fixing to rant and rave over here. This is how I'm looking at y'all, red pill niggas today in 2025. Fuck y'all. It is what it is, ass nigga. Yeah, they still arguing with women, bro. They still arguing and debating women. Bro, I ain't got no chance. I'm not going to be out there like Myron talking about women deserve nothing, prove me wrong, debate me. Fuck that, nigga. Hell no. I'm about to go live this life. I'm going state to state, ocean to ocean, busting it up while the tour bus keep coasting. Shout out to AMG. I got to get these super chats in. That's me, bruh. You ain't about to activate me so y'all can sit behind your fucking goofy ass icon and sit back and chill and go to work. Yeah, fuck y'all. Shout out to Joshua Moon says, married niggies, hold that L. Yeah, H Everyday says, she said there was no consequences. Red flag. She did say that. That sister said there were no consequences. Okay. It's 2025. There ain't nothing y'all can do. And here's the sad part about it. You don't even realize what Gen Alpha is getting. You don't even realize what Gen Z is getting in terms of any of this social programming. Why? Because you're out of the loop. You're out there working at your job like a good little slave. Okay? But wait till AI takes over. But you don't even know what Gen Alpha is getting. If you have kids that are Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I think I had a conversation with my son. And he was saying something to me I can't even remember. And I looked over at him and I was like, wow, that's definitely a generation thing. But this is something that they, teach their kids. By the way, mental health, I don't even want to go in on that one. All right, that to me is completely propaganda. All right, it is not true. Them psychologists don't know shit about the brain. It is completely made up. They don't know nothing. They're just flying by the seat of their pants, creating customers. All right, that's a whole one of those generational shifts that didn't exist with me, but it exists over there. That whole industry is. But I can't remember what my son said. I might have to remember what it was, but I looked over at him. I was like, I know you didn't say that. Like, whoa. But of course, it sounds like something that young people say that they learn from adults that are giving them propaganda. It sounds like what they would learn in school. Period. All right. And I'm like, shout out to the Pittsburgh Mogul. The Pittsburgh Mogul says weed isn't a gateway drug for many casual users, but they are not the problem for the overwhelming majority of drug addictors, addicts, and users. It is 100% the number one gateway drug by far. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, casual users, yes. But I find that if the person is younger, the younger they are, typically they're going to try other things. I mean, so the marijuana typically is going to lead to other things based on socializing, right? So you're smoking a doobie, and then somebody shows you Molly. Like, that's what's going to happen. Now, if you're 16, 17, 18, or 19, you're going to take the Molly. Because you're already smoking the doobie. You're already going to take the perk. So it's going to be the next thing. It's going to be the next thing. Now, if you just get into it later in life, you're cool and chill. All right, you're good. But eventually it's going to happen. And then once you do that, that frontal lobe is cooked. It's cooked. So, yeah, I know people kind of want to defend that and say it's not a gateway, but it's 100% the number one gateway. Like, you're smoking a cigarette, cool, you might not jump over there, all right? You drinking a 40, you might not jump over there. As soon as you do weed, what's the next thing? You're going to be chasing the next thing. He said, what the fuck is a doobie? Yep, I tell you, generations, man. Generations. What is a doobie? Hey, which doobie you be? A doobie is what they used to call things back in the 70s and 80s. What a fool believes. All right. Shout out to our brother here. It is Mark Muhammad. Coach, you asked who did it, who put the air tag in your car. You're not sure, but I have some clues. Number one, I'm still in the middle of divorce proceedings. Number two, spouse is in the same house sleeping in a different room. Number three, AirTag was put on at 4 a.m. and taken off after midnight on different days while I'm definitely sleeping. Number four, my car is secured day and night in the garage. Whenever I'm home, can I get a look what she did with my car? Damn, bro, you living with your, going through a divorce?
Look what she did to my car. Look at this of my car. I can't stand this hoe. I can't stand this bitch. Fuck this bitch.
All right, damn. He's living with his spouse going through a divorce. Man, I can't imagine anything worse than that. Okay, goodness. We got Maryland guy. Maryland guy says, hey, coach, popping in here. Did you hear that Ozzy Osbourne died? I'll catch the replay. Rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. He gave us some great classics. Black Sabbath, lead singer for a while, and definitely hit those metal years in the 80s. He was definitely on the fringe for a lot of people, and people worried about our kids who listened to Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace to Ozzy. Sky Daddies, sex is overrated. Some wise graybeard dude told me peace, quiet, and freedom. He says, much rather have that. Boss up. Peace leave comes with the territory. Appreciate you, coach. Special shout out to Big Joke at ATL. Seek first, fellas. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to say that. Yeah. What did you say here? Sex is overrated. Yeah, we are biologically driven for it, so it becomes something that overpowers us. But we don't realize how much we give to get it, right? So that when people say they get it for free, I think it's comical, right? I'm like, that's comedy. I didn't even have to do nothing. It's kind of like when women say men give the money and they didn't have to do anything. That's comical. That's a lie. That's a lie. You had to do something for that money. You had to do something for that money. You didn't just not give it for free. You didn't just you did something. You exchanged conversations. You did something for that money. All right. And you might have done something even worse than that. But you sold your soul. You hung out with a person you wouldn't have normally hung out with other than but for the money. You talk to him. You FaceTime him. You play with your pussy in the camera. Something happened. Something happened. You sucked his dick. I mean, stop. But then when you say for men, it cost me nothing, that's false. You don't realize how much time passes just for you to become intimate. And time is money. So if you are becoming intimate with a woman, we're talking about you're going to trade hours on multiple days. Hours on multiple days. Okay? You just calculate that shit. 3 hours here, 4 hours there. And them hours pass by fast. Anybody that's ever been hanging out with a woman and you started at 8:30 and you look at the clock and it's already 11:30? Like, them hours pass quickly. And we're talking about prime hours. And then you do it again and again and again. There's a cost. You're going to look up and you done spent 25 hours with this woman. 25 hours. That's not in counting when you were sleeping next to them. If I count the hours you slept next to them, it's going to be a full-time job. You're going to talk about 50 hours a week. Stop fooling yourself, man. I get it. You didn't pay cash money, but stop. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount of time you'll waste on that. There's no other thing you would waste on that other than going to work, and you got paid for it. But you will easily give a woman 20, 30, 40 hours a week. Okay? That's a hell of a lot of a commitment. That's just to fuck them a couple times a week. Dude, that is a hell of a commitment. Think of what you could have done with that money or that time. Think of what you could have done with that time that you're giving up for that time for the pleasures of sex. Shout out to Corey. Says, what's up, coach? Great show today. You're spitting all facts per usual. Corey, that's a co-sponsorship. We in the house here. What about the mental time that you're thinking about that person? Let's say you're going through stress with that person, stressful relationship. The mental time you're spending thinking about that stress. You had an argument, a fight, a disagreement. You broke up. You made up. You broke up again. You're watching them. You got their location. You're asking them about it. You're FaceTiming them when they're at home. This is a lot of time. Lots of time. The cold approach, talking to girls, talking to the 30th girl, calling her, texting her. This is a lot of time. You're talking about 60, 80 hours a week of you just focusing on one girl or many other girls. What about your rotation? You got 4 or 5 girls in a rotation spinning plates. You're getting her over on Thursday, get her in over on Saturday. Try not to have a double booking. You see what I'm saying? Like this, you gotta count. Like, you got to count that because these things add up. It's kind of like using a credit card. You swipe, swipe, swipe. You don't even really know what you adding up until you look at the bill. God damn, $2,000. What did I spend on $2,000? What did I spend $2,000 on? You can't even think about it. That's what tells you. What did you spend those hours on with that woman doing? You can't even quantify it. If I told you it was 30 hours a week, you wouldn't even be able to make that make sense. What did I do with 30 hours with one bitch? I fucked twice or 3 times. It wouldn't even make sense. Hell no, I ain't spent 30 hours with no woman this week. Yes, you did. And you got your dick whacked twice. Yes, you did. You could have started a whole business, had a whole job, a whole side hustle. You could have did a whole bunch of shit. Pillow talking, fighting, arguing, fucking, talking over dinner and lunch, driving here, going there, nigga, getting dressed. Shit. You guys are crazy. That's paying, bruh. You paying big time. Right here. Dr. Love says if a young man or woman is hooked on substances like marijuana, coca, LSD, ecstasy, or is an alcoholic, a long-term commitment is an impossibility. Any marriage with this demographic is equal to divorce and moral suicide. Drugs are not it. Alcohol is not it. I got to speed round this. Scarcity mindset. I was in a relationship where this woman expected me to put up with her bad attitude, but it was hard to leave because of the sex. As you get older and see things for how that they are objectively, Pinani, poo sleeve, can't control you. Thanks, coach, for these shows. A lot of men share this. Continue. Shout out to you. Bob says, I'm thankful to have gotten this information before you met the one. If I had those information while having a family, I will have crashed out or ran away. Thank you for literally saving lives. I can see myself having a family in my late 20s. Shout out to Bob. MC Hamster, if monogamy is to work, the sex has to move from the butterflies to gardening. You can still get the butterflies, but a lot of the energy is spent managing the butterfly garden now instead of chasing butterflies. And couples get fat and lazy, get to work. And man, if you have a fat and lazy couple, please don't tell me you're having sex with each other. I don't even want to picture it. Not me, coach. I have sex with my wife. Okay, let me see both of you. Both of you people are fat. Now, I'm going to just tell you, fat people cannot have good sex. Especially 2 fat people. All right, so do not come over here telling me you and your fat wife are having sex. All right, I'm just letting you know. This shit is not going to impress me, bro. This is not impressive. All right, first of all, your gut sticking out like this. How the fuck? I know you ain't got the equipment to overcome the fact how fat your stomach is sticking out. All right, I know your shit ain't that long. All right, so how the hell you penetrating her with it? How? How are you laying on top? How are you mounting her when she's on her back? It's impossible. You would need a skinny nigga and a fat woman to do this. But 2 fat people doing it, there's no way. You ain't got the equipment. I know you ain't got it. So now you got to smash her from behind every time. And look at that big wide ass, all right, every time. There ain't no way. And how your stomach not getting in the way? You got to lift your stomach up over her booty cheeks. There ain't no hell of a way that you about to impress me talking about 2 fat married people having sex. All right, nah, bro. That ain't what I want. Okay? That ain't what I want, and I ain't want to see it. I don't even want to hear about it, bro. So do not come over here bragging about you 2 goofy, overweight people slapping bellies and shit. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And stamina-wise, bruh, you can't even hold yourself in high plank position. I know you ain't throttling her, and how high she can get her legs. No, man, stop. Stop. I don't want to hear this. How long you going to stroke this punani out? 3 minutes tops before you start sweating bullets and passing out. All right, you ain't got no stamina. You definitely don't have, you do have the stomach for it. Cody says, coach, female pleasure and orgasm is important because it releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Guys who don't prioritize this are crazy. And they're immature, all right? It's not important to reproduction. Completely immature take. I've heard several people say this, and I'm like sitting over there like, bro. Tell me you can't get a woman off without telling me you can't get a woman off. Lameek says, I don't care what you say, coach. I know there's love out here for me. He says, you never been in love like I've been in love. Girl, you know I love you. Michael Frantatorio over here just showing some support. Your content is way too good for being stuck in these YouTube algorithms. If on the air and syndicated, you would have the #1 show. And, of course, I would have to have social programming, social engineering promote me. I'm going to tell you, there's not many people that do entertainment that is better than me. I know you're not going to understand that. But compared to Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Kevin Hart, all these people ain't as good as me. #1. #2, they couldn't do this. They need people writing their shit. They need people putting up laugh tracks and having the audience clap. They only can go so far, right? These people got great work ethic and they got massive people behind them. They got machines behind them and constantly promoting them. Nobody could do this. We're talking about hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day, entertaining you, switching topics, educating you. Who? No I don't have a sidekick guest. I don't have a half-naked woman. I don't have a co-host. I'm not interviewing anybody. I don't have a special guest. I don't have an engineer. I don't have anybody doing double camera angles. I don't have an audio person. Think about this shit. I don't have someone holding my camera for me. I'm literally a one-man band crushing this shit. There ain't many that can do this at this level. Consistently. Remember, consistently. Not 1Z, 2Z. I don't depend on young audience. I'm not targeting young men, enticing them with women and doing crazy stunts. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally talking. I'm not doing stunts. I'm not doing pre-scripted people jumping into my stream. Bro, with this reality, there ain't that many. I can count them by hand. By hand. I'm talking about in the world that could do this in English. Who? New world order. Who? I don't got producers and makeup artists and people feeding me teleprompted materials and shit. I don't got none of that. It's just me. It's just me. And the minute these people come off the network and then jump out here, look at Michelle Obama can't do what I'm doing. All right? They can't do what I don't have guest rappers. I'm not telling you there's going to be a special guest to come here to watch me. Extra shit. Nothing. It's just me. Who else can do it at this level like this? Consistently. Not many. Somebody said Tariq Nasheed. Shout out to Tariq. Yep. There's some people that can do it, but we talking about a handful of people. A handful of people. Tariq Nasheed could definitely do it. Shout out to CJ says, shout out to the GOAT and the MFing game. The Notorious CGA. Also, rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. Big Boy says, with the social engineering, do you think that pricing the next 2 generations out of life was the plan? Yep. Yes. Pricing them out is the plan. Why is that the plan? Okay. The plan is to make people dependent. The plan is to take away freedoms. Like the idea of America being the land of the free, right? The whole idea of the Constitution. Like, this is problematic for people who are wanting power. The idea that you can vote and your vote has power, that's problematic. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. The powers that be, the richest people in the world, they don't want this. They don't want you to be able to say, I don't want to take the jab. And stand on it and use the Constitution to stand behind it. They have no interest in this. When I say they, I'm saying people that want to have power and influence. They have no interest in Americans having this shit. Like, they want to tear that shit down brick by brick. They want to burn the Constitution up right now. They don't want that. So the reality is, yes, they want everybody beholden. They want everybody. They don't want people to just be able to say, I could be a millionaire by 30. I could retire by 30. I could start a business and be a millionaire and billionaire and retire and go from 0 to billionaire. They don't want that. They don't want that. And you notice when people start shouting people out, you notice they always leave my name out. Interesting, huh? They have no interest in that. So yes, the idea is to eventually get rid of what they call democracy, or this idea of the republic and freedoms of speech and that's the ultimate idea and goal. Because once you do that in America, it ain't never coming back in the entire history of the remaining world. We'll never have it again. Nobody will ever have it. There's no country that'll ever have what United States has right now. Okay. There's other countries that got close historically. All right, which you would say, yeah, but nobody's ever going to. What you see here in America is the last of it. And we've given it away. We've given away our rights and our freedoms, and people have convinced us we should have equality and people should have fairness and all this shit. Yeah. But what you see here in America right here, once this goes, it ain't never coming back in the history of the world. They'll make sure of it. It ain't never coming back. Nobody will ever have a country where they have a Declaration of Independence and a Bill of Rights, where we can literally just go back to Bill of Right number 1, Bill of Right number 2, Bill of Right number 3, Amendment number 1, 2, and 3, and stop motherfuckers from doing shit. Yeah, bro. You ain't taking my firearm. We got the Second Amendment. They want to wash that shit away, bro. So how do we do it? You make people crunch them financially, right? So then what do? You take away their security. People will give up their fucking rights. All right. That was said by Thomas Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken. The minute you say, all right, I want safety and security. All right. Well, then you're going to have to give up some of your rights for that. Okay. That's like women. Same thing. When women want to be in a relationship with you, what do you say to them? Okay. Take away some of your freedoms. A wise man once said, the more freedom you have, and I always misquote this, the more freedom you have, the less security. The more security, the more freedom. Or the less freedom. I can't even remember. And I always fuck up that quote. But that's the reality. A woman says, I want to be with you. Okay, then let me check your phone. You're going to have to check in with me. Let me check your location. The bitches will be like, nah, I don't want to do that. Okay, you can't go to girls' nights out. The minute you start saying this shit, then they start saying, nah, I don't want a relationship with you. Why? Because they want a relationship with you that includes them still being free. That's what we have in America right now. But the minute they get you in a situation where you ask them for more security. Hey, give us security. Give us more money. Give us support. They're going to say, yep. And they'll say, guess what? Yeah, you're going to take away some of your freedoms in exchange for that. That's what they're slowly going to do. Okay, give up your freedom for this. Give up your freedom for that. Give up your right to this. Give up your right to that. We'll give you support. We'll give you UBI. We'll give you money. No, I mean, that's obvious. That's completely obvious. And they do this all the time. They do this to women who divorce. And then what do? They tell them, the women that divorce, they say, I'm going to leave my husband. The court say, okay, good. All right. So what did the woman say? I still want access to his money. I still want social services, rent assistance. I want child support. I want, lower this. I want WIC, EBT. And this bitch got to sell her kids to the government. And she got to sell that nigga out to the government to get that. And she's still going to be scrounging and scraping. She still ain't going to make it. She basically got to ruin everybody's legacy and everybody's generational wealth for her to live free and independent, to go fuck for 5 years and catch herpes. And still raise kids in poverty. Like, it's bizarre. You know what I mean? Like, but she got to sell her kids over. She got to dump her kids in the daycare, and she got to sell their asses out. And then they come out like fairies. Now your son is a fairy because she wanted to go get a divorce and dump the kids in the goddamn daycare. And now your kid's running around here sashaying and shantaeing. Hey, people make crazy decisions. People make crazy decisions. Now your kid coming out talking with a lisp because the teacher done touched the kid. Right? Now, there's always going to be consequences and repercussions, all right? She got child support, but, now your kid talks with a lisp because the daycare teacher done touched him. Or the man she was dating done touched your daughter. Now that the new man she's dating done touched the daughter. Hey, there's always consequences and repercussions to shit. Don't think motherfuckers going to get something for free. You're going to have to do something. Hombre Lobo says, my peeps keep telling me that the true wifey material women are in Kenya, and that Kenya is the place for black men to become ultra wealthy. Your take. Man, please. Go over there and find out yourself. Right? Dr. Love, even the Industrial Revolution in the early 1900s was a huge turning point with women working in factories and mills. This agenda is probably at least 120 years old. I think it's longer than that. Men like Myron and Anton are trying to fight a war that started over 100 years ago. I still respect Myron and Anton for trying. I just think they're... Anyway, I'll just move on from that. All right, Kevin G says, I want to commend you for your patience you have with these niggies. He says, at what point will men realize that a man without purpose is a meaningless man, susceptible to any and all things that destroy? Shout out to you. Yep. Men, if you don't have a purpose, you're meaningless. All right, to not only women, but to everybody else. All right, find your fucking purpose in life. Shout out to Rational Rationality. I'm a hospitalist in internal medicine, 36 years old. I work a week on, a week off schedule. Boys F dating in your town. I'm knocking JUCOs every other week on vacation while kicking ass at work on the week I'm on at the hospital, getting lean at the gym. Avoid local strags, free agent lifestyle for life. I always tell you, most men's problem is they have scarcity. They only have women in Indianapolis to pick from. You're not going to be successful in dating, right? If you have that much scarcity. You don't even have a car. You got 3-4 block radius and a bus pass, and that's how you're going to find love. You're fucked in 2025. You don't realize how disadvantageous that makes you. And again, leveraging options. The minute I'm able to cast a wide net, the minute the local women are garbage to me. Cast a wide net. You guys aren't even trying. Men today aren't even trying. What men today want women to do is to give up. You want women to give up their rights to be with your goofy ass. And it ain't gonna happen. You want women to give up what they possibly can gain from the world through the flesh to be with your goofy ass. Look at your life. No woman wants to be with that. With your tighty-whitey draws, having ass. You ain't got nothing. You a raggedy nigga. You a raggedy regular dude. You raggedy. You ain't gonna get jack shit out here. And look at your stomach. You think they gonna give up your rights for you? Well, there's a lot of fat dudes that get a lot of bad bitches. That's 1 out of 50,000 fat niggas. The rest of the fat niggas, you look goofy. All right? Yeah, that's one fat dude that got swag. All right? And aura. The rest of y'all ain't got it. And he probably deal drugs or something. He got money and he got motherfucking Benzos or Lorenzos. All right? But you, on the motherfucking other hand, Jaden Hooper says, send in a contribution to the show. Thank you. And I think we got to the end of a great show. Y'all always want to use the exception to the rule. I know a lot of short dudes that be out here. That's the exception to the rule. You round up all of these mighty midgets, and not all of these mighty midgets is fucking women left and right. There's a couple of mighty midgets out here doing shit. The rest of them out here got to use another damn strategy. Okay? There's a couple of broke niggas out here getting it. And the rest of y'all broke niggas out here raggedy. Xavion, those who would give up essential liberties to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Ben Franklin. I'll say it again. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Period. Point blank. That's what you guys are fighting against in the United States. You guys are giving up a little bit of your liberties to get some temporary EBT, temporary WIC, TV, and temporary bus passes for your kids. And then you finesse the system for 15 years, 20 years, and think you fixing to come ahead. No, you ain't fixing to come ahead nothing. You just wasted 20 years of your whole early prime years finessing a system, and you are going to come out backwards. Yep, COVID was an example. All right, hey, you know, we're going to be safe from each other. Give up your right. Nah, hell no. All right, we want everybody to be safe. Well, tell them niggas to stay at home. I'll go outside. That was my whole COVID argument. They was like, we need to make sure everybody's safe. Well, tell them to stay home. I'll go outside. They scared. Let them stay at the crib. All right, but I'm going outside. And no, I ain't putting my arm out. So I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But shout out to the Coach Gang, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll do a replay with the stream put together. Peace.